Picture this, you're the introverted guy in class, and somehow you end up becoming friends with the second most beautiful girl in the entire class. You heard that right, not the first most beautiful, the second. That's the story of our main character, Maki. His name is Maki Ahara. So today was the first day of school. The teacher hands every student a blank sheet of paper so they can write a short introduction about themselves and their hobbies. The plan was simple. She'd randomly pull one paper from the pile, and whoever's name came up would have to introduce themselves in front of the whole class, so everyone could get to know each other a little. So Maki writes down whatever he has to write about himself, silently praying to God that his name wouldn't get picked. But God wasn't on his side that day, because his paper is the very first one pulled. The teacher is a little thrown off, because the school he'd written down wasn't anywhere near their area at all. That's when Maki explains that because of his dad's job, he has to transfer schools all the time, so he's not originally from here. The teacher doesn't quite know what to ask him next, because his little self-profile was oddly sparse and strange. Under skills and hobbies, he'd simply written gaming, and beyond that there wasn't much else he particularly enjoyed. So the teacher just asks, almost as a filler question, "So how are you planning to spend this weekend?" And he answers, "My dad's always busy and so is my mom. So I'll just order myself a pizza and pass the time watching a movie and playing games." Now the teacher feels a bit awkward hearing that. She genuinely doesn't know how to keep talking to this kid. So to keep the conversation going, she asks, "Oh, so you like watching movies? What kind of movies do you like?" And he says, "I like the R-rated kind with sharks, crocodiles, basically B-grade thrillers." And the moment he says that, one girl's entire attention snaps toward him, as if she's suddenly genuinely interested in what he's saying. He doesn't have much else to add, so he just sits back down and immediately starts regretting it. Why did he even say all that? He could have just made something up. Looks like he's not going to make a single friend at this school either. The teacher pulls another paper, and this time the name that comes up is Amamiyu, the most beautiful girl in the entire class, and quite a bit more extroverted than most. She thanks everyone and introduces herself, even mentioning that she's half foreign because her grandmother was from abroad, which explains her looks. And honestly, just looking at her, it seemed like she'd make friends with the whole class within minutes. The teacher asks her, "Weren't you at Tuchi High School? As far as I know, that's a high school, so why did you come here?" You answers, "What's the fun in that? It was just an all-girls school. I want all of us to be together, girls and boys both. We should get to experience everything life has to offer." And right then she goes over and hugs the other girl, telling her, "It's your turn now. Go ahead and introduce yourself." And just watching the two of them, it was obvious they were already old friends. Her name comes up on a paper too, and she introduces herself. "My name is Asanaji Umi. And yes, I'm from the same school as her." She didn't seem anywhere near as excited as you was. You, meanwhile, was listening to her calmly. "The reason I came here. Honestly, I was trying to get away from you. But turns out I couldn't get away from her at all. She followed me all the way here. Forget the same school. She's even in my class." At that, you acts a little offended. "You're so mean. How can you say that about your own best friend?" And watching the two of them, the whole school starts talking about how beautiful they both are. Though if you really compared them, you came off looking a bit more stunning. Maki, listening to all this chatter, already understood that this entire year was going to belong to these two girls. Nobody else was even going to be noticed. You and Umi make a bunch of friends almost instantly, no trouble at all for them. But our main character, Maki, he was still completely alone. He tells us how, back at his old school too, he never had a single friend. Sure, he does prefer being alone, but even he wishes he had a friend sometimes, and every now and then he gets a little jealous of others. But what can he do? He'd never met anyone whose taste actually matched his. The next day in class, we see you trying to rest her head in Umi's lap. "I've been studying so hard. I only dozed off twice this whole class. Please, let me nap," she says, acting exactly like a puppy that needs attention 24 hours a day. Meanwhile, the other boys in class are debating who's more beautiful between the two of them, and, unsurprisingly, everyone votes for you. A few say Umi is beautiful too. But next to you, her beauty just falls a little short. Maki hears all of this, and it's like he silently disagrees with them, but he doesn't say anything. Then we cut back to Umi and you talking. Umi says, I'm going to watch a movie at home tonight. If you want to come, let me know. But the moment she tells you which movie it actually is, the life drains right out of Yu's face. She tries really hard not to judge her, but she genuinely found Umi's taste in movies unbearable. She just can't say it directly, because Umi's her closest friend. Umi picks up on exactly what that reaction means and says, if you don't want to watch it, that's fine, I'll just watch it alone. Still, Yu trails after her like a puppy, going, please forgive me. I want to watch the movie with you too. But Umi doesn't budge. On his way home, Maki is thinking to himself how he wishes he had a friend like Yu is to Umi. Since he was going to be home alone anyway, he decides he'll watch a good movie tonight. So he heads to the video rental store, which is stocked with a ton of B-grade movies. Just as he reaches out to grab one, he bumps straight into a girl. He starts apologizing right away, and then freezes when he realizes the girl is none other than his own classmate, Umi. She teases him, which world were you lost in? I've been standing right next to you this whole time and you're only noticing me now. He asks, what are you doing here? Weren't you supposed to be watching a movie at home today? Hearing that, Umi steps closer and says, so you were eavesdropping on people's conversations. That's not a very nice thing to do. He panics a little at that, but she laughs and says, I'm just kidding. Of course you heard. We were basically shouting when we were talking. Then she adds, anyway, I told you half a lie and half the truth. Yes, I did tell her I had plans to watch a movie, but my real plan was you. He's stunned. What does she even mean by that? She explains, I've wanted to talk to you for a while now. I just never got a good chance to. He's still thoroughly confused. Why would you want to talk to me? You already have such great friends. That's when she shows him a piece of paper, the exact same sheet the teacher had handed out at the start of the year. Written on it are Umi's honest answers that she likes gaming too, and that she likes B-grade films too, just like Maki does. That's exactly why she'd been listening so intently to what he said in class. She tells him, I never actually handed this paper in to the teacher because I was scared the other kids would make fun of me. I never had the courage to write it down. But when you wrote it on your paper, that's when I realized there are other people out there like me who actually like B-grade movies, and that's the moment I started wanting to talk to you. So now the two of them start recommending movies to each other, because for the first time, each of them had found someone whose taste matched theirs exactly. After swapping movie recommendations, they head home for the night. But the very next day, Umi sends him a message. If you're free this weekend, we could hang out. And that weekend, she comes over to his place. The two of them play video games together. Umi says, you've got some nerve challenging me to a shooting game. You know it's basically impossible to beat me, right? Don't come crying later. And with that, they start playing. They eat pizza together, drink sodas, and play video games. The two of them were practically carbon copies of each other, which is exactly why becoming friends didn't take them long at all. Then we see Umi lose horribly, badly enough that she nearly smashes the floor in frustration, but Maki manages to calm her down just in time. She says, let's play again. And just like that, evening turns into night and their game never ends. Umi's lost count of how many times she's lost by now, but it's gotten pretty late, so it's time for her to head home, and she starts tidying up. Maki just sits there watching her, unable to quite believe that someone actually came over to his house, because before today, none of his friends had ever come to his home, especially not a girl. But Umi, brushing her teeth, asks, why are you looking at me like that? What's cooking in that head of yours? He says, that's not what I meant. I was just thinking, you eat so much pizza, drink so much soda, and yet your weight never seems to go up. You're actually really fit. She responds, I exercise a lot, unlike you, and starts tickling him for saying that. This was her payback for all the times he'd beaten her at the game. It was time for her to head home now, and she tells him, I had a lot of fun today. Let's meet again next week. Maki says, isn't this a little weird though? I get that our taste is basically identical, but just becoming friends over that. Don't you think that's a bit strange? Umi answers, inviting a girl over to your house on the very first meeting. That's the strange part. Maki protests, wait, what do you mean? You're the one who asked me if you could come over to play games. I just said yes. She just says, yeah, fine, but get ready to go out next week. He says, wait, what do you mean go out? Are we going somewhere together next week? She says, yes, we can go shopping, walk around, eat something, and best of all, we can play arcade games. Besides, what else are you even going to do sitting at home? He says, that's not what I meant. I do want to come, but what if someone sees us together? She says, if someone sees us, we'll just tell them we're dating. She was only joking, of course. And with that she walks off, leaving him completely flustered. The moment his mom gets home, he asks her for money. I'm going out with my friends next week, so I need some money. His mom is stunned. Tell me honestly right now, is someone bullying you for money? You don't have to give those brats a single rupee. I'll go complain to the principal myself, because his mother genuinely can't believe her own ears that her son might actually have a friend. But he reassures her, nobody's bullying me. They're really my friends and I'm going out with them next week. Just tell me if you can give me some money or not. And his mom pulls out every last bit of cash from her purse and hands it all to him. Spend however much you need, don't worry about the money, she tells him. He gets a little nervous hearing that. I just need money for food, I'm not buying out the whole shop. But his mom is overjoyed, because this is the first time ever that he's going out with friends, which means he's actually making friends here. The next day at school, the two of them act like they're ignoring each other. That was part of their unspoken deal, so neither of their images would take a hit, because you know how kids at school love to gossip. So while ignoring everyone, he's eating his lunch alone when he overhears that some boy is confessing to Umi, and hearing that, he immediately starts trying to slip away. If she sees me here, I need to get out before that happens. But just as he's about to leave, he runs straight into you and Nina, and you recognizes him. Nina is surprised. Wait, you know this guy? Who even is he? You says, you don't know him? He's in our class. His name is Maki. So clearly, you isn't unkind at heart at all. She genuinely pays attention to and cares about everyone. Nina says, well, you're about to be in the way, we need to go see what Umi says. Some guy from our school is confessing to her right now. So the two of them head over to listen in, dragging Maki along with them whether he likes it or not. And the random boy is asking Umi point blank, would you be interested in dating me? Now that he'd confessed his feelings, the boy is waiting for her answer, and Umi, for some reason, looks a little sad. The boy asks again, can we date? But Umi flatly says no. Up until now, she's been talking quite respectfully, but the boy starts pressuring her. I've never seen you with any guy before, so I figured you didn't have a boyfriend. That's why I confessed my feelings to you. Umi replies, you're right, I don't have a boyfriend, and I don't want one either, so my answer stays no. The boy pushes further, is there someone else you like? But she doesn't really answer that and starts to walk off. He stops her again. Come on, we could at least be friends, right? What's wrong with being friends? Umi says, I wouldn't even want to be friends with you, so get that idea out of your head. Watching this, it might look like she's being harsh, but the fault here wasn't Umi's at all. We find that out from you and Nina. Nina says, I knew she'd reject him. She's really hard to impress. You says, it's not just about that. She did the right thing rejecting him. Nina continues, yeah, you're right. I mean, sure, Senpai's good looking and popular, but girls still don't like guys who chase after everyone. Maki, like us, has no idea what they're talking about. So you explains, that senpai actually confessed to me first, and when I turned him down, that's when he went to Umi. So if you think about it, he only asked Umi out after you had already rejected him, treating Umi like a second choice, which isn't a nice thing at all. It clearly shows he never actually loved Umi. He just wanted to be with her because she's popular. And Maki doesn't like that either. How can someone stoop that low? But then Maki says, okay, fair enough about him. But why are you two listening in on this? I didn't think you were the type of girl who eavesdrops on other people. You explains, I never do that normally, I don't care what other people are up to. But Umi's my best friend, so I listen in because I care about her. And she apologizes to Umi too, for dragging her into all this. While Nina had already slipped away earlier. But just as Yu's about to leave, she asks Maki for his phone. It was a strange thing to hear. This was the first time the two of them had ever really spoken. So why was she asking for his phone? But he doesn't question it much and just hands it over. And then something happens that he never in a million years expected. Without a word, she types her own number into it and hands it back, telling him, give me a missed call so I have your number too. But keep one thing in mind, this stays between us. Nobody else can know about this. He can hardly believe his own eyes. This girl, the most popular, the most beautiful in the entire school, just gave him her number herself. Felt like a dream. After school lets out, they head home and just like every other day, Umi shows up at his place to play games and have fun. It's become a daily thing by now, and Maki admits to her that he'd overheard her conversation earlier. She's not too upset about it, though. It wasn't that big a deal. But he still doesn't tell her that you gave him her number. Then Maki looks over at her and asks, "Are you really that popular?" Umi says, "Yeah, I am popular. Just not as much as you. But why are you even asking? Are you jealous or something?" Maki tells her, "It's not that. Honestly, I used to really want to be popular too because I thought it'd be so cool, the whole school wanting to be your friend. You'd have so many friends, you could talk to everyone. But today I realized it's not actually as great as it seems. Take you, for example, you have so many friends, everyone wants to be close to you. But the downside is, you also end up having to be around people you don't even like. A lot of people only want to be friends with you so that they get to be popular too through you. And at some point it starts to feel like they're just using you. So honestly, it's better to just be alone." Umi says, "You're not wrong. But it's not as deep as you're making it sound. You don't need to overthink it that much. Yeah, there are plenty of people around me who are fake friends. But it doesn't really matter to me because you're in my life now. Don't take that the wrong way though, I mean it as a friend. I'm clarifying that so you don't start thinking I'm in love with you." Offended, he shoots back, "I only see you as a friend too. Don't go thinking I'm in love with you either." She teases him back, "Look who's talking. You don't even have any friends besides me." And he teases her right back, "And look at you. You've got 10 or 15 friends, but you only share your actual hobby with me. So that basically makes the two of us the same." And just like that, they start bickering playfully, saying they'll settle it in the next game and go back to playing. They spend the time enjoying themselves like this, and a week goes by just like that. Now, today was the day the two of them were finally supposed to go out together, and Maki couldn't wait for school to be over so he could leave with her. Since they still couldn't let anyone know they were friends, Umi makes up an excuse too. She says, "I have to get home early today. I've got a bunch of stuff to do at home. So much work that just thinking about it is making me mad." But she says all this with a smile on her face, and Nina catches it. "If you've got that much work, why are you smiling while you say it? Sounds to me like you're going out with a boyfriend and just don't want to tell us." You says, "That's not it at all. If Umi ever gets a boyfriend, I'll be the very first person she tells." And she says it with complete confidence. But then a bit of doubt creeps in, and she turns to Umi and asks, "You'll definitely tell me if you ever start dating someone, right?" Now you genuinely starts to suspect she's hiding a relationship. But Umi knocks her lightly on the head and says, "Idiot, you know I don't jump into dating that fast, and even if I did, I'd tell you. Nina's just messing with your head." So the two of them leave school and meet up at the station. Maki had gotten there early on purpose so he wouldn't be late. He genuinely had no idea what to wear, so he ends up wearing all black. He had zero sense of fashion because he'd never gone out with anyone before. A little while later, Umi shows up too, and immediately starts laughing at his outfit. "Looking at you, you seem like the depressed member of some rock band. Why on earth did you wear all black?" "Fine, I'll let it slide this time, but wear something better next time." Hearing that, he's a little surprised. Does that mean she wants him to come out with her again next week too? But then Maki asks, "Why did you get here so early anyway?" "I got here early on purpose so you wouldn't have to wait for me." Umi replies, "The two of us really do think alike. I just knew you'd show up early, so I came early too." So they start wandering around, going shopping, and she takes him to stores she could never go to with her other friends, not even with you. She tells him how much she loves exploring new things. All this while, Maki kept calling her Asanagi, Asanagi, Asanagi being her surname, and for some reason that starts bothering him. She says, "It's been over a week now, and we've become such good friends, so why aren't you using my first name? You should have been calling me by my first name by now. Or should I just assume you don't actually think of me as a good friend?" He says, "Fine, I'll call you by your first name if you call me Maki first," because up until now she'd only been calling him Ahara, which is his last name. But then she blushes and says, "I can't call you Maki. We're not that close of friends, and honestly I'd be embarrassed to use your first name." So he gets a little annoyed too. "If you're not going to call me by my first name, then don't expect me to either." So they decide that for now, they'll just stick to using each other's surnames. After all that shopping, they sit down to eat and start talking about their favorite movies, what new movie each of them had recently watched, and once again their tastes turned out to be identical. Umi says, "I recently watched a movie called Shark Angel. It's absolutely incredible." Maki loves the story too and says, "I'm definitely going to watch that." Umi says, "Great, then next week let's just sit at home and watch it together." The two of them are enjoying their time like this when two rude girls nearby start talking among themselves. Is that really Umi? The second most beautiful girl in our school. The one who rejected our senpai. And they start saying nasty things about her. Like, I don't even think she's that pretty. You's way prettier than her. This one's just full of herself. Hearing all this stings a little. So, to teach those girls a lesson, Umi starts acting like she's actually dating Maki, playing the part of an actual couple, even feeding him with her own hand. Seeing this, the two girls are shocked. Wait, Umi actually rejected senpai for this guy? He's not even good looking, and he's not popular at school either. Hearing that, Umi's about to get up and give them a piece of her mind. How dare they say all this about him when they don't even know him? But Maki stops her. I don't care what anyone thinks of me, he says. So they just ignore the two girls and go back to enjoying themselves, playing arcade games, batting cages, all sorts of things. After a while, as they're sitting down, Umi heads off to the restroom to freshen up. Maki sits there, happy, thinking to himself, a week ago I was so completely alone, and now I finally found someone I actually enjoy spending time with. Though yeah, I've got to keep our friendship a secret or things will blow up at school. Just as he thinks that, Yu-chan and her whole group appear right in front of him, and he practically feels the ground vanish beneath his feet. Yu spots him instantly and recognizes him. Maki, what are you doing here? And apparently Nina's memory is terrible, because she forgets every single time that Maki's in their class. Do you know him? She asks, and Yu answers in a slightly sharper tone. How many times do I have to tell you he's in our class? You shouldn't disrespect people like that. Nina makes an excuse. I just didn't recognize him. He's not in his school uniform. Then Yu asks him, who did you come here with? Friends. Because in class, he's always alone. He quietly calls Umi to warn her that her friends have shown up here, and he's about to grab Umi's bag and slip away, but Yu stops him. If you don't mind, you're welcome to join us, and your friend can join too, whoever they are. What fun is it enjoying yourself alone? It'll be way more fun with everyone together. She asks so sweetly, but Nina clearly doesn't love the idea, and she says quietly, what are you doing? We can't just invite him into our group like that. But Yu, being genuinely pure-hearted, replies, it'll be fun though, won't it, if two more people join us? Poor guy, what's he even going to enjoy alone? Unless you don't want him joining us? Nina defends herself, that's not what I meant, and it's slowly starting to dawn on her exactly why Umi never spends time with this group on Fridays. Maki says, thanks for asking. Honestly, from your point of view, hanging out as a big group probably sounds fun. But not for me. A lot of people's tastes are different from everyone else's, and if I hung out with your group, I'd end up trying to become like all of you. I'd end up doing whatever you all like, not what I like. So instead of enjoying myself with 10 people, I'd rather spend time with that one friend whose taste actually matches mine. And with that, he walks off. He tries to stop him, but it's already too late, and the two of them slip away and meet up at the train station. That's when Umi finally tells him the truth about why she doesn't like being part of that group. She explains that she genuinely is very close with you, and she loves spending time with her, but the moment they're all together as a group, she keeps her distance. Because a year ago, back when the two of them were at the all-girls school, Umi was actually the leader of their whole friend group. She was really sharp, the second most beautiful, and she just naturally had leadership qualities, so she was the one who carried everyone along. At first it was fine, but eventually they all started taking her for granted. They'd dump all the work on her, and being around them started making her feel lonely even in a crowd. That's exactly why she started watching B-grade movies alone. Yeah, I know it was partly my own fault too. I should have talked to them about my hobbies, told them what I liked and didn't like, but it's too late for that now. I don't want to be the perfect girl anymore. I just want to be Asanaji Umi, and that's exactly why I spend my Fridays with you, because our taste is so similar, and I know you won't judge me. He asks, it's been so long since we started school. Why didn't you talk to me sooner? You could have approached me earlier too. She admits, I did try, but you always kept to yourself. You'd go straight home the moment school ended. And besides, I've never actually had a guy friend before, so I had to be careful not to mess anything up. I kept waiting for the right moment to talk to you. But finally I worked up the courage, and now here we are, good friends. By now Maki is completely worn out, so she gives him her seat and apologizes to him. I'm sorry you had to go through all that because of me, and she shows him her phone. You had messaged her, saying, I ran into Maki at the mall today and I accidentally upset him, blaming herself entirely for it. But Maki says, I'm the one who should apologize, the way I spoke to her. Umi tells him not to worry about it, and gently strokes his hair, and Maki finally drifts off to sleep. After he falls asleep, she quietly says his first name, meaning she genuinely does think of him as a close friend now, she just doesn't have the courage yet to say it to his face. The next day at school, the moment Yu sees Maki, she apologizes to him. She's feeling incredibly guilty. "I'm sorry I asked you to join our group without even thinking. I never considered that you might just want to spend time alone with your friend." All the other kids are stunned. Why is the most popular girl in school apologizing to this loser? And honestly, if you think about it, it wasn't even that big a mistake on Yu's part. All she wanted was for Maki not to be alone, to have him enjoy himself along with everyone else. Maki tries to reassure her that it's not her fault at all, and tells her he's not even the slightest bit upset with her, and hearing that makes her happy. She says, "How about we meet up after school sometime? We could sit and talk properly. You've got my number already, so just call me later." And watching this, the whole school is stunned. What is this loser doing with her number? She's genuinely confused by everyone's reaction. What's so shocking about this? But later he explains to her that she was actually the one who told him to keep it a secret, and Yu suddenly realizes she slipped up again. Every boy in class is staring at her like they want to kill him. So now the two of them start walking home together. At this point, Yu still has no idea that Maki and Umi are already friends, so the two of them act like total strangers to each other. Yu says, "Sorry, I feel a bit uncomfortable around guys, so I brought my friend Umi along too." He says he doesn't mind at all. Then Yu notices someone following them, and the two of them immediately know it can only be Nina. She loves keeping tabs on people. So to shake her off, they duck away, and to actually be able to talk properly, Maki takes the two of them back to his place. Umi acts like she's never even seen his house before, so now they start chatting properly. Umi asks the big question, how did the two of them end up with each other's numbers? And Yu explains, "That day we were eavesdropping on you too. That's when I ran into Maki, so I gave him my number," and Yu flicks both of them on the head for eavesdropping on her. Still, neither Maki nor Umi lets you know that the two of them already knew each other beforehand. It's time to head home now. Yu says, "I'm sorry about that day. I told you to come enjoy yourself with our group when you'd actually come out with your friend. And the way you explained how alike the two of you are, how neither of you judges the other, it's clear you two must be really special friends." Hearing that, both of them start blushing. Poor Yu has no idea that Maki's special friend is none other than Umi herself. Umi stands up and says they should head home now. Maki has no idea what's suddenly gotten into her. But before leaving, Yu says, "I really enjoyed spending time with you today," and she holds out her hand. "If you don't mind, could we be friends?" And just like that, Yu and Maki become friends. And knowing Yu the way we do, she's incredibly open-hearted. She never thinks twice before doing anything. So the moment Maki walks into class, she looks up and walks straight over to him, and everyone's stunned watching this. Even Nina, even though she already knew the two of them had been talking just the day before. With so many people around, he can't really talk to you properly, and she finds that a little strange. "Why are you being so quiet today? You were talking to me just fine yesterday." Then Nina walks up and says, "Are my ears ringing? Or did you seriously just call him Maki-kun?" Yu quickly changes the subject. "I didn't call him Maki. I said his full name, Ahara Maki. Don't tell me you've even forgotten his name." And Nina genuinely had forgotten. Then Yu tells Nina straight up, "Maki and I are good friends now." And the second she says that, gossip starts spreading through the class, exactly like she expected. All the kids start whispering to each other. Is he blackmailing her or something? Why else would you be friends with him? Every boy in the whole class is constantly hovering around her, so why is she even giving this guy the time of day? Maki had honestly expected this. He knew people would talk if word got out about their friendship, but it still stings to hear it. Nina and Yu, though, couldn't care less. Nina asks Yu, "Why did you run off the moment you saw me yesterday?" But Yu doesn't tell her that either. While Nina and Yu are busy with each other, Maki gets a message from Umi apologizing on Yu's behalf. "I'm sorry you had to hear all that because of her, though honestly, none of it was Yu's fault either." A little later, once class settles down, Yu comes back over to him with her lunchbox. "How about we eat lunch together? We're friends now, after all." But before the class can start gossiping about this all over again, Umi comes rushing over. "What do you think you're doing?" she says. "The way you're asking him, it sounds like you're proposing a date with him. You know people are already gossiping about you, and if you keep acting like this, Maki could end up in real trouble." But Yu was just innocent like that. She genuinely doesn't understand what the problem is with just eating together. And honestly, even Umi doesn't have a real answer for that, because logically speaking, two people eating together doesn't automatically mean they're dating. Then Ahara chimes in too. "If I have to eat alone with just you, I'll get nervous myself. So Yu, with her simple little idea, suggests the school has a problem with 2 people, right? What if the 3 of us have lunch together instead? She was so insistent about it that Maki finally gives in. And this was actually the first time he'd ever sit down and eat lunch with someone. His entire school life up to this point, he'd always eaten alone. So now, as the 3 of them are sitting there eating, Yu's eyes land on Maki's lunchbox, and they light up instantly. The way he'd arranged the food looked absolutely delicious. She can't hold herself back and asks, "Can I take a bite from your box?" His lunch looked pretty simple on the outside, so he says, "Sure, you can have some, but I made it in a hurry, so don't expect too much." She's stunned to hear he made it himself. "Then I definitely have to try it," and hands him her own lunch in exchange. Maki explains, "My mom's usually too busy with work, so I make my own food, and you just won't stop gushing about how talented he is, that he's a better cook than the 2 of them combined." Poor Umi just wanted to eat in peace, but you wouldn't stop talking. Then the moment you actually takes a bite, she can't believe it. The food tastes even better than it looks. At first she thought you was just exaggerating for the sake of it, but after seeing her reaction, Umi can't resist either, and she asks for a bite too. She wasn't thrilled to admit it, but she couldn't lie. Maki really was an excellent cook. The dish was genuinely delicious. Now you won't let up. Where did he learn to cook? What all can he make? Has he tried any new dish recently? He says, "Yeah, I tried banana pancakes recently." And hearing that, it's like an arrow straight through Yu's heart. How can a boy possibly be this talented at cooking? I feel embarrassed even standing in front of you. You're 1,000 times better than me at this. The others can't figure out why she's praising him so much. He tells her, "It's really not that big a deal. I just watch tutorials online and copy what they do. Anyone could do it." But she pouts and says, "You're talking like it's child's play. Do you have any idea how many times I've burned down my own kitchen trying to cook? It's not as easy as you think." Then she flops onto the table, thinking out loud, "If his omelets are this good, how good must his pancakes be? I have to try pancakes made by your hands." Seeing her reaction, he offers, "If you really want to try my pancakes, I'll bring some for you." Hearing that, she practically starts singing, grabs his hand and says, "If you actually make and feed me those, I'll never forget this favor." And for some reason, watching the 2 of them get this close, Umi's expression drops just a little. Whether that was jealousy or something else, only Umi herself would know. After finishing lunch, Yu goes off to order tea, leaving Umi and Maki alone. She apologizes for Yu's behavior. "Yu's not bad at heart," Umi says. "She just genuinely considers everyone a good friend. Think of her like a puppy," which is exactly what he'd been saying all along. They start talking about how the whole class had turned against him, but he doesn't seem to mind. "People will stop gossiping in a few days," he says. Umi tells him, "If it happens again, you can always come to us for help. We'll put them right back in their place. And besides, it's not easy being friends with the most beautiful girl in class." Hearing that, Maki goes quiet for a moment, like he wanted to say something. Maybe he wanted to say that she was every bit as beautiful as you. He doesn't say it out loud, but Umi seems to understand anyway, and she says, "You don't need to overthink it. The whole school knows Yu's the most beautiful. I know exactly what people say about the 2 of us. They've ranked me second, and honestly, I don't mind because Yu really is beautiful, and not just beautiful, she's got a wonderful heart too. And someday, you'll end up liking her too." And after saying that, she goes quiet. What exactly did she mean by that? Meanwhile, on the other side, when Nina and Yu are alone, Nina asks her, "Why are you so obsessed with that Maki guy? I've been watching you hover around him for days now. It's like you're trying to be friends with him." Yu answers plainly, "He's really kind-hearted, and he always looks me in the eye when we talk. In a way, he's a lot like Umi. That's reason enough for me to want to be friends with him." Umi doesn't say much in response to that. That same evening, they head to Maki's place to try the pancakes. And after eating them, it's the same thing all over again. How does this guy make so many amazing things? Umi and Yu start bickering over it. "You could never cook like him," Yu says. "Have you forgotten how you ruined those cookies on Valentine's Day?" Maki has no idea what they're talking about, so they explain, back when they were still at an all-girls school, they used to bake cookies together for the whole class. That's when it clicks for him that they were from Tachibana Girls High School, the biggest school in Japan, where only wealthy girls attend. So what could possibly have brought the 2 of them to a much smaller school like this one? Though he doesn't ask. After eating, they weren't planning to head home right away, so they start playing video games. Yu's playing this game for the very first time, but she's so good at it that nobody can quite believe it. She wins match after match, even stumbles onto some brand new move just by mashing random buttons, and finally beats Umi first, then Maki too. Poor Umi. She used to only lose to Maki, and now she's losing to you too, someone who didn't even know how to play this game before today. Watching Yu's gameplay, Maki moves closer to her. Teach me that move too. How did you even pull that off? I've never managed that move myself. And the two of them get really close, almost as if Umi's not even there. She doesn't say a word. Later, as they're heading home after all this, Yu suddenly stops and says, Maki's done so much for us. What if we did something for him too? I can't cook for him, but I could take him to a restaurant on Friday. We should do something for him. Hearing that stings Umi a little, because Friday was the day the two of them had already planned to watch a movie together. But unfortunately, between the two of them, Maki would definitely choose you. So Umi says she can't make it. You two go together, I can't come that day. Besides, you two make a better pair alone anyway. Even as she says it, though, she's a little jealous, because ever since you entered the picture, Maki's entire focus seems to be on her, as if he's already forgotten about Umi. Though honestly, what else could she expect? If he had to choose between the most beautiful girl in the whole school and the one who's always ranked second, he'd obviously pick you. So Yu calls him up and asks, how about the two of us go to a restaurant on Friday? I want to thank you too. And after a short chat, she hangs up. Umi asks her, so what did he say? Is he coming with you? Yu says, no, he said no. He said he already has plans with a special friend on Friday. Hearing that, Umi is stunned. So he'd rather go with someone else than with you? And she rushes off, claiming she'd forgotten her phone. That wasn't true, though. She was actually heading straight to Maki. The moment she reaches him, she pinches his nose and, blushing, says, so we're meeting tomorrow then. Poor Maki has no idea what just happened to him. The next day, exactly as they'd planned earlier, the two of them spend the entire day together, and while playing games they start talking about manga. She says, that manga you gave me to read was genuinely incredible. Maki tells her, oh, you're talking about that one? Its final chapter's out already. Hearing that, she shuts her switch immediately and says, the final chapter's out and you didn't tell me? Give it to me right now. He refuses. I haven't even finished reading it myself yet. How am I supposed to give it to you? But she insists, I need to know the ending. Let's just read it together then. So the two of them start reading the manga together, and by the time they finish it, neither of them can hold back their tears because it had such a happy ending. After reading such a beautiful ending, she suddenly wants to start the whole thing over from chapter 1. Give me chapter 1, I'm reading it again, she says, and that's exactly what they do, reading the entire manga from chapter 1 all the way through to the final chapter again. By the time Maki finishes his read-through, he looks over and finds Umi fast asleep on his bed, worn out from a full day of gaming followed by hours of reading manga. He's about to wake her up, but he himself is so exhausted that he ends up falling asleep too. Much later, someone's calling out, Maki, Maki. He assumes it must be Umi, but she's still fast asleep, which can only mean one thing, his mom is home. He has no idea how he's going to explain any of this. Maki's mom calls Umi's house and finds out that their daughter had fallen asleep, which is why she never made it home. Maki's mom tells her, I've already spoken to your mother. She said it's gotten too late, so you can stay at our place tonight. She suggests to Umi, you can go take a bath, and you can wear my clothes, and then leaves the room. Maki was slowly trying to sneak off too, relieved his mom hadn't asked too many questions, but then she grabs him from behind. Where do you think you're going? I actually need to talk to you. Though she isn't too angry, and Maki tells her everything honestly, what happened at home today, and that the two of them have known each other for 2 months now and are nothing more than friends. His mom trusted him completely, but she still warns him, I trust you, but you're both still teenagers, you shouldn't be inviting a girl over without informing an adult. Do you know how worried her mother must have been? He says, I'll go apologize to her tomorrow myself. He's sitting in his room thinking about how close a call that was, when Umi walks in, freshly bathed, and instead of his mom's clothes, she's wearing his, since they fit her better. Realizing she's staying over at his place tonight makes him a little flustered, and he tells her, I'll sleep out on the sofa, you take the bed. But she says, we both slept so much today already. Do you really think I'll be able to fall asleep tonight? Why don't we just sit and talk instead? And he sits back down. Just to tease him a little, Umi says, I didn't know you were this type of guy. You didn't wake me on purpose, so I'd end up having to stay the night at your place. I didn't realize you were this sneaky. Maki fires back, look who's talking. You know you shouldn't just fall asleep at someone's house like that. She concedes, fine, I guess it was both our faults. They sit there a little awkwardly for a while. Then Maki asks, when are you going to tell you about our friendship? We still haven't told her that we know each other. She says, it's really hard to hide anything from her. Yeah, I'll tell her, just at the right time. So please, keep acting like strangers around her for now. After saying that, she leaves. The next day, he goes over to Umi's place to apologize to her mother, and it turns out her mother already knew his name, which means Umi had already been telling her mom about him. Her mom gives him the same advice. I don't mind you two staying at each other's places, but you need to tell me before you do. Do you know what state I was in yesterday when she didn't come home on time? Both of them apologize, promising never to do it again, and her mom, being quite relaxed about it, asks, so will you tell me how you two actually became friends? How did you two even meet? How did you get this close? Poor Maki goes quiet. How's he supposed to answer that? Then her mom says, every time I ask my daughter this question, she just tells me to mind my own business. Can't a mother even know about her daughter's first boyfriend? Umi panics and says, I've told you already, mind your own business, and he's not my boyfriend, we're just friends. Which basically confirms that Umi's been talking about Maki quite a lot at home. By now, her mom's grown pretty close to Maki too, and she tells him, if you'd like, you're welcome to stay over at our place tonight. Something Umi absolutely could not let happen, or her mom would embarrass her all day long. Finally, Monday arrives, and the school festival is coming up. The class needs to pick one boy and one girl to help organize it, and they'll decide by drawing lots. Whoever wins gets paired up with whoever else wins on the other slip. Much to his dismay, Maki's name comes up as the winner, and the moment he wins, everyone starts making fun of him. Whichever girl gets paired with him is going to be so unlucky, they say, with some even going, I genuinely feel bad for whichever girl it is. And it wasn't just the boys. Even the girls whose names weren't drawn looked visibly relieved that they hadn't been paired with him. Even Nina, who's admittedly a bit rude, is bothered by how cold-hearted everyone's being. She realizes he's only getting this hate because he wants to be friends with him, which tells us that even though Nina can be a little sharp-tongued, she's not actually a bad person deep down. Hearing all this, Umi struggles hard to keep her anger in check, and just as she's about to say something, Yu shows up and says to the whole class, what exactly is your problem with Maki? Why do you all hate him so much? You simply can't stand watching everyone make fun of him, and she finally snaps at all of them. Seriously? What's wrong with all of you? Why do you hate Maki so much? He hasn't done anything to you. He's always calm, and he never once refuses to help anyone. But all of you are treating him like he isn't even a person. So I'm asking all of you this, just give me one real reason to hate him. All the kids lower their heads because you was yelling at them, this girl who never so much as raises her voice at anyone by mistake. Seeing this side of her actually scared them a little. Then Yu turns to their teacher and says, if none of you want to work with Maki, then I'll be his partner. To hell with the paper slip and the whole system. The teacher says, I only came up with the paper slip idea so we could pick randomly. But if you don't mind, you're welcome to participate. Though at least ask Maki whether he even wants to work with you or not. Maki says, I don't mind at all. If he wants to work with me, that's even better. But just as they're saying all this, Umi pulls a slip out of the box herself and says, I'm the winner. My name's on this slip, so I'll be Maki's partner. Poor Yu, well and truly betrayed. Here she was dreaming about getting to spend more time with Maki, and Umi swoops in and grabs the slip first. Umi says, if we're following the rules, then whoever's holding the winning slip is Maki's partner. The moment she hears that, Yu lunges for the slip. Quick, give it to me. I need to be Maki's partner. But Umi smacks her on the head. You need to learn how to behave. I know you feel bad about how people are treating Maki, and that's exactly why you want to be his partner. But look around you for a second. You've hurt people with what you said, and you owe them an apology. And it finally dawns on you that she got a bit carried away in her anger. She apologizes to Umi for losing control, but Umi tells her, you don't need to apologize to me. You need to apologize to them, because you spoke to them pretty harshly, and Yu doesn't hesitate even 2 minutes before apologizing to everyone for her behavior, and she apologizes to Maki too, for accidentally dragging him into the spotlight because of her outburst. Then Umi announces to the whole class that the class leaders for this will be Maki and herself, and that she hopes everyone will help out, so their class does well at the summer festival. So Umi and Maki head off to another room, the room where representatives from every class had gathered for the summer festival, and sitting there, Maki compliments her, you really are amazing. You handled the class so well. Honestly, I thought they were going to eat me alive. She's happy to hear that, but she says, if we're being honest, Yu's the amazing one here. Didn't you see how she stood up for you without caring what anyone thought? There wasn't a shred of regret or embarrassment on her face about standing by you. Yeah, hearing how the class was treating you made me angry too, and I wanted to give them a piece of my mind as well, but I just didn't have the courage. That's what makes you special. she never hesitates to stand up for her friends. And honestly, you must have felt good too, watching you fight the entire class for your sake. I could never do something like that. I've always just been the type to try and keep everyone together, which is exactly why I never yell at anyone. Maki notices something. For some reason, she seems a little down, as if she's hiding something, or maybe she's just not feeling well. Whatever the reason, he doesn't ask. Just then, the student council president, Seiki, walks into their room and assigns each class its task for the summer festival. When school lets out, Yu comes running up to Umi, grabs her hand, and apologizes for what happened in class. She feels bad about it. She shouldn't have lost her temper like that, and honestly, who knows what all she said to people in the heat of the moment. Umi pinches her cheeks and says, "You definitely should apologize. But honestly, I was glad you stood up for Maki. You did exactly what I wanted to do myself but couldn't. Still, keep one thing in mind. Our whole class is a team for this summer festival, so we need to carry everyone along together. We can't be fighting each other." Yu says, "You're absolutely right. You always help me out. You're like my knight in shining armor, saving me from every mess. Remember how you saved me back when we were kids?" Umi laughs. "You still remember that? I thought you'd forgotten all about it." And chatting away like that, they head home. The next day, they tell the whole class what their task is. Turns out their class has been assigned decorations, and they need to make some kind of heart display. Hearing this, the class isn't thrilled at all. Umi says, "I know you all wanted the maid cafe, but we can't do that since that assignment didn't go to us. That doesn't mean we're gonna slack off, though. We're gonna come up with a decoration idea so good it'll beat even the maid cafe, and we're going to win this year's summer festival competition. And hey, if we're lucky, maybe I'll even let you and Nina cosplay." Nina asks, "What do you mean, cosplay? Why should the two of us have to do that?" Umi says, "I'll do whatever it takes to win. If I have to use the two of you to pull in attention, I will." While they're bickering about this, Umi turns to Maki and says, "You've been quiet for a while now. Don't tell me you don't have any ideas." Maki goes quiet. He does have an idea, but he's worried people will make fun of him or just not listen at all. But he finally gathers the courage and pitches his idea. "What if we made art out of used cans?" And the scene cuts right there. Then we see Umi and Maki talking about his idea. He'd been so nervous, thinking nobody would like it, but it turns out to be a genuinely brilliant idea. Everyone loves it. He goes on, "You were standing right next to me. That's the only reason I even suggested it. If it had been any other girl standing there instead of you, forget anyone else, even if it had been you standing there, I probably wouldn't have said a word." She laughs and says, "So you got lucky that I happened to be standing next to you." Maki says, "Yeah, it's a good thing your name came up on the slip. Otherwise, who knows what I would have done." She says, "That reminds me of something about the slip," and pulls out her own slip and hands it to him. And when he unfolds it, it's completely blank, which means she hadn't actually won at all. Her name was never on the slip. She'd lied about the whole thing, which is exactly why she wouldn't let you get her hands on it. But instead of being shocked, Maki just starts laughing. "So you lied to everyone about winning?" Umi asks, "Why are you laughing? I thought you'd be mad that I cheated." He says, "Why would I be mad? No girl wanted to work with me anyway, so it actually worked out that you lied just so you could work with me." And he writes "winner" on her blank slip and hands it back to her, because as far as he's concerned, the real winner was Umi all along. Now, to make the can art piece, they had a lot to do, collecting cans, sketching a design, and later setting it up digitally with a color scheme. But Umi's drawing skills weren't good enough to create the concept art. "It's not that big a deal," Maki says. "I'll head home and start working on the color scheme myself." Meanwhile, Yu was busy collecting all the cans, since they needed tons of them in every color. She walks into class complaining, "Look at this. Some rude people emptied out these cans and stuffed cigarettes inside them. Why do people even do that?" Then her eyes land on the artwork, and she asks, "Are you two drawing this? If you need help, I can pitch in." And for some reason, hearing that, Umi's expression drops again. This is the second time now. In no time at all, Yu finishes the artwork herself, and it's genuinely stunning, like something straight out of a manga. Maki's eyes go wide. "How can you draw like this? This is seriously incredible." And hearing that again, Umi's face falls once more, because this is exactly what always happens whenever Yu shows up. First, when you came to play video games, she outplayed Umi at that too. And now, when it was Umi's job to draw, Yu ends up outdoing her at that as well. No matter what it is, a game, drawing, even a beauty contest, she'll always end up in second place. But this time, Maki actually notices how down she looks and asks her, "Why do you look so upset?" She just says, "Yu's really good at drawing. How about we just let her handle this?" Yu asks, "Then who's going to collect the cans?" Umi says, "Don't worry about that. Nina can handle it on her own." And as she says this, she crumples onto the drawing she make, twisting it viciously, as if she's venting all her frustration onto that piece of paper. Or maybe trying to show that as long as Yu's around, she'll never get to be the winner. Yu stays up the whole night finishing the drawing, and the result is genuinely amazing. Maki hadn't expected that level of perfection, and once again he showers Yu with praise, and once again Umi's face falls hearing all of it. Later, Yu takes the drawing around to show the rest of the class how well she did, and they joke that Yu's good at everything except studying. And here's the thing, when someone else praises Yu, Umi doesn't have a problem with it at all. Then the two girls who'd been rude earlier thank Umi for saving them from Yu's anger that day, and they realize that what they'd been doing to Maki really was wrong. Umi tells them, Maki won't hold it against you, just help out with this project. As she's leaving, she gets a message from Maki telling her not to come over on Friday. What he actually meant was, don't come to my place this Friday, you've been so busy all week, take some time to rest. Hearing that makes her sad too, because she always looked forward to Fridays, getting to play video games with Maki and eat whatever random snacks they wanted. But since he was clearly telling her not to come, she couldn't really push back on it. So on Friday night, Maki sits down to work, he's making the can art piece, but his mind just isn't in it. He keeps thinking about how, for the past 3 months, she'd shown up at his place every single Friday. They'd have fun, eat, drink, all sorts of things. And today, with her not there, something feels off, for some reason he can't explain. He's spent his whole life being alone, but now this emptiness is gnawing at him in a way it never used to. He can't take it anymore, and he finally calls Umi, who's out at a karaoke party with the others. She steps outside to take the call. Is this an emergency? Why are you calling me this late? He says, I'm having a lot of trouble with the design. Could you come over and help me? Hearing that makes her happy. She can tell there's more to it than just the design. Smiling, she says, is that really the reason? Or is it that you can't focus without me around, and you want me sitting next to you while you work? Hearing that, he starts blushing. He doesn't want to admit it, so he just says, if you don't want to come, then don't. But don't come crying later saying I never asked. She teases him back, you're as stubborn as a little kid. You still can't just admit that you miss me. And honestly, if we're being real, I miss you too. I'll be at your place in a little while. But just as she's saying this, Yu suddenly walks outside, and the moment Umi sees her, she hangs up the call. Yu asks, what happened? Why'd you suddenly step outside? Umi says, I got a call from home. I need to get back quickly. Now Yu's starting to sense something's off because for the past 2 or 3 months, this keeps happening every single Friday. She keeps ditching them, and she's never once explained where she goes. Yu's starting to get suspicious, but she doesn't say anything about it just yet. A little while later, Umi arrives at Maki's place. But then we see someone following her. Anyway, Umi helps him finish up the design, and by the end she's completely worn out. Maki tells her, if you want, you can take a nap. She teases him back, aren't you embarrassed, inviting a girl to sleep over at your house? He says, what's there to be embarrassed about now? You've already slept over here once before, and goes back to ignoring her, focusing on his work. Then Umi rests her head on his shoulder, and she's about to say something. There's something I've wanted to tell you for a long time. Now that we're finally alone, I can say it. But just as the words are about to leave her mouth, the doorbell rings, and on the other side of the door is none other than Yu herself. The two of them panic, and Umi hides in Maki's room, but it doesn't do any good. Yu says, no need to hide, I already know you're in there, and Umi finally comes out. Maki asks, how did you know she'd be here? Yu explains, I've had a feeling for a while now because she'd disappear like this every single Friday, and whenever I brought her over to your place, she seemed a little too comfortable, like she already knew you from before. In other words, it seems like the two of you have been friends even longer than you and I have. So yeah, I already know that you and Umi were friends before I ever knew Maki. But I want to ask Umi one thing. Why did you hide all this from me? Maki immediately realizes this could create a rift between the two friends. So he says, this isn't Umi's fault at all. I'm the one who asked her to keep our friendship a secret. But you doesn't believe that. Why would you do that to me? Since when do you keep secrets from me? I always thought of you as my best friend. But now I'm starting to think maybe you don't feel the same way about me. And that stings because it was true, you never hides anything from Umi. In fact, she's practically glued to her side 24 hours a day like a puppy. And today, finding out that her friend had been lying to her all this time genuinely hurts. Umi says, that's not true at all. I do think of you as my best friend. But why I didn't tell you and the reason behind it, I can't tell you that right now. And with that, she walks away, apologizing for being a bad friend. Poor Yu is left thinking she's the one who upset Umi. Then we get a flashback. Umi never tells anyone else the real reason, but through this flashback, we finally get to understand it. Back at their old school, everyone used to talk about how beautiful and popular you was. I wish I could be her friend, people would say. But when it came to actually becoming friends with Umi, they never showed much interest. Like this one time, Umi asks two girls if they're free that weekend, and both of them say they're busy. But later, she spots those same two girls hanging out with you, which meant those girls wanted to be friends with you, not with her. And it kept happening over and over. Whenever Umi tried to make a friend, that person would eventually leave her for you instead. And that's exactly the pattern she started noticing with Maki too. Like how close Maki had gotten to you while playing video games, or how close they'd been while working on the painting. Whenever you is around the three of them, Maki completely ignores Umi. That's exactly why Umi never wanted anyone to find out about their friendship, because deep down, she was scared you would take her friend away from her too. And I want to make one thing clear, it's not that Umi hates you, and it's definitely not that you's doing any of this on purpose either. 3 days go by and Monday finally arrives, and all three of them are back at school. But over those 3 days, Umi hadn't replied to a single one of Maki's messages. She'd been completely ignoring him, so he decides he'll talk to her once she gets to school. But once she arrives, she's acting completely normal, as if nothing happened between the three of them that night at all. She's talking normally with both you and Nina, but the moment it comes to talking to Maki, she suddenly gets busy with something else. You texts Maki, asking, "Is everything back to normal between you two?" I can't believe how normal she's acting, considering she just walked off without saying a word that night. But Maki flatly denies it. "I haven't even talked to her in 3 days. I thought something happened between you two." You says the exact same thing. "Nothing happened between us either. She wasn't replying to my messages for 3 days either." But the moment she showed up at school on Monday, she started talking to me completely normally. That's when it clicks for him. She's just putting on an act, nothing more. So he gathers his courage and, in front of everyone, walks up to her and says, "I need to talk to you alone," which was completely out of character for him, since it clearly wasn't about schoolwork, meaning he's no longer afraid, even if the whole school finds out they're friends. But Umi refuses to come. "I have a lot of work right now." Her two friends, though, Nina and you, tell her, "Go on, we've got this covered," because they too wanted Umi to go talk to Maki alone. So she drags him into the storeroom and starts yelling at him. "Why on earth did you call me out in front of everyone? You know that could have exposed our secret, that we're friends." He says, "Don't blame me. I've been messaging you for 3 straight days and you haven't replied even once. So tell me, what other option did I have?" Now the poor girl doesn't know what excuse to give, and Maki just goes back to collecting cans. Umi says, "You called me all the way here, and now you're not even talking to me? Don't you want to know why I've been ignoring you for the past 3 days?" He says, "Honestly, I desperately want to know what happened. Forget me. You weren't even talking to your best friend but I won't force you. Tell me whenever you're ready." She says, "What if I never want to tell you?" He says, "Then I guess I'll feel a little hurt, but I still won't force you. It's your decision." Hearing that, she hugs him from behind. "Why are you so good and so innocent? If you keep treating people this kindly, they're going to start taking advantage of your goodness. People just like me." Then she says, "Listen to me carefully. If I told you I need to confess something to you, would you hear me out? But for this, you'll have to wait until the school festival is over. So tell me, can you wait that long for me?" And he agrees that it's not a big deal. He can wait until the school festival is over. So now the day of the school festival finally arrives. The whole school had been decorated by all the different classes, but the best artwork by far belonged to Maki and Umi's class. They turned empty cans into something so incredible that it grabbed everyone's attention. Once everything's set up nicely, Maki and Umi end up sitting alone on the rooftop, and he asks her, "If you don't mind, can I hold your hand? In case you're feeling cold." She says, "You're just saying that to cheer me up," but she takes his hand anyway, and admits, "Honestly, holding your hand is making me feel a lot calmer." And just as they're enjoying this nice little moment, Yu comes up onto the roof and says, "Look, I brought some of my other friends along too. Actually, Maki, I wanted to introduce you to some friends of mine and Umi's from elementary school." But Umi cuts in immediately. "These two never once treated me like a friend. They always ignored me, and whenever I wanted to spend time with them, they'd flatly tell me they were too busy. So yeah, they might be your friends, but they're not mine." Then she adds, "I did say I'd tell you this later. Well, maybe now's the right time. You Maki, listen closely. I want to tell you both why I'm so insecure." We're shown a flashback back when they were all kids. Umi is walking with her friends Sanai and Monica, and the two of them say, Tomorrow our class is picking a class monitor, and I'm definitely voting for you. Umi smiles and says, if I win, I promise I'll work really hard. Just then, Umi notices a little girl around her own age, walking home alone, looking really sad. And at that age, that wasn't normal at all. Pretty much everyone has at least one friend. So Umi gets a little curious about why this kid's wandering around all by herself. She tells her friends, I've got something to take care of, and slips away. And when she follows the girl, she finds her sitting alone in the park, crying. Umi walks up to her and says, my name's Asanaji Umi, what's yours? The girl looks startled at first, wondering why this girl is even talking to her, but she composes herself and says, my name's Amami Yu. And they hadn't even known each other for 5 seconds before Umi starts using her first name, because you only use someone's first name with your best friend. And she asks, what class are you in? Yu answers, I'm in 3rd grade, I just transferred here recently. Umi says, that explains why I've never seen you before. Can I ask you something though? Why were you walking home alone? Don't you have any friends in your class? Yu answers sadly, no, I don't have any friends, and I'm not even trying to make any. Because back where I used to live, people avoided me too. My eye color's different from theirs, my hair color's different too, I just looked completely different from everyone else. And in case you'd forgotten, Yu's half foreign, because her grandmother was from abroad. That's exactly why she looks so different. Yu continues, crying, I'm just completely different from everyone else. Nobody wants to accept me, nobody wants to be my friend, and that's exactly why I'm scared people here will treat me the same way. So I never even tried to make friends here. Umi says, well, that's fine then, I'll be the one to start. Would you like to be my friend? We can walk home together too. Yu is stunned for a moment. Did she really just make her first friend? And she calls her Asanaji. But Umi tells her, you can use my first name, just call me Umi, and I'll call you Yu. Which meant the two of them had become best friends the very first time they ever met. Now that they were friends, Umi decides to introduce her to the others too, Sanai and Monica. Yu's a little scared of them at first, since she hadn't really trusted anyone besides Umi in a long while, but at Umi's urging, she tries talking to them anyway, and it turns out both girls are thrilled. In fact, they compliment Yu, saying how beautiful she is, how lovely her eye color is. Yu's stunned for a moment. Did they really just compliment her? Did that mean these people didn't hate her? And Umi reassures her, see, I told you people would want to be friends with you too. Yu's overjoyed that she's made 2 new friends, though even Umi couldn't have guessed it then, but everything was about to change. Yu, the girl who used to live completely alone with not a single friend, by the time middle school rolled around, she'd become the most popular girl in school. She no longer lived in fear the way she used to. She was completely open-hearted, and that's exactly why everyone loved her. We're shown that when they move up to middle school, Umi and Yu end up in the same class again, but Sanai and Monica end up in a different class, meaning their little group had broken apart. Still, Yu was happy that her best friend was still with her, and she tells the other two, don't worry, even though our groups split up, we can still sit together for lunch. Both girls agree, yeah, of course we will, and they joke, you must be happy anyway since Umi's still with you, you're glued to her 24 hours a day, and in middle school you became even more popular. Everyone wanted to talk to her. It's not that Umi couldn't have made just as many friends, she just never wanted to be the center of attention. But this is where things started to change. Umi never fought with you, but it still stung whenever people paid more attention to you than to her. All anyone at school ever talked about was how beautiful you was, how lucky her friends must be to know her, and the talk didn't stop there either. Complimenting you was one thing, but people also used it as a chance to put Umi down. They'd constantly say things like, look how beautiful you is. Next to her, her friend just looks so plain. I don't know why you even bothers being friends with a girl like that. Across the whole school, Umi became known only as Yu's friend, because everyone else was jealous. Why was this particular girl so close to you? Then we're shown in detail that scene we glimpsed earlier at lunchtime. Umi goes up to Sanai and Monica and says, I've got 4 movie tickets, I was thinking you, me, and you could go watch a movie. But both girls flatly refuse. You go ahead this time, we've got some stuff to take care of, and her other friends say the same thing. Since they had personal things going on, she couldn't push them, and since the 2 of them weren't coming, she doesn't even bother asking you, thinking there's no point taking you somewhere all by herself. So Umi decides she'll just watch the movie alone this time. But on her way there, she spots Sanai and Monica out and about with you, which meant the 2 of them had lied to her. They claimed they were busy, so why did they lie? Umi overhears them talking to you, who has no idea what's going on. In fact, she even asks, wait, where's Umi? Didn't you invite her? The 2 girls say, We did ask her, but she said she already had other plans, a flat-out lie. They'd never asked Umi anything at all. Then they make excuses, saying maybe she's just worried about her studies. That's probably why she doesn't want to hang out with them anymore. And Umi understands exactly why they're doing this. The two girls wanted to become Yu's best friends, and hearing that stings because these two girls used to be her friends first, and now they were the ones freezing her out. Now the story cuts back to the present, and Umi says, "That's exactly why I decided to leave that school and transfer to this high school, so I could just leave you all behind." Hearing that, you can hardly believe it. "You told me you were transferring because of money problems. Was all of that a lie?" Umi says, "Yes, that was a flat-out lie. I came here to get away from all of you. But look at my luck. You ended up following me all the way here anyway." Yu says, "What are you even talking about? Of course I followed you here. We're best friends. We promised each other we'd stay together. Yes, I do care about Sanai and Monica too because they're my friends as well, but you're my best friend. Not just my best friend. You were my very first friend." Umi says, "And maybe that's exactly the problem. Because you only ever considered me your best friend." Then she continues, "I actually already talked to Sanai and Monica about this. And honestly, the reason they did what they did was because they both wanted to become your best friend, but I kept getting in the way every time. That's exactly why I left that school. The whole school hated me simply because I was the reason they couldn't become your best friend. Haven't you ever noticed that whenever someone talks to me, it's not because they actually want to be my friend. It's just so they can get closer to you? People only ever used me as a way to get to know you." Maki cuts in, "So is that the real reason you didn't want you to know about our friendship?" Umi agrees, "Exactly right. Because you were the first boy who ever became friends with me for my own sake, not because of you. So I didn't want you to take you away from me too." Then, looking straight at you, she asks, "You? Do you even like me?" And without a moment's hesitation, Yu answers, "What kind of question is that? Of course I like you. You're my very first friend. And I love you more than anyone else." Umi says, "I love you just as much too, but at the same time, I hate you just as much too." And with that, she runs off and Maki chases after her. Once the two of them are gone, Sanai and Monica leave as well, leaving poor Yu standing alone up there. She's unusually quiet. Then Nina shows up and asks, "What's wrong with you? You seem awfully quiet today." Yu says, "I just need some time alone. I'm thinking about something." Nina finds this strange, because Yu is not the quiet type at all. She's always doing something, 24 hours a day. But being a good friend, Nina gives her the space and just stands quietly beside her without saying a word. Meanwhile, Maki goes to find Umi, who's crying, because of everything she'd said to Yu, and because she'd lied to her very first best friend for so long. Through her tears, she says, "You thought of me as her best friend, and what did I do to her? I lied to her. Every single Friday, I lied to her just so I could come see you. And she kept asking me every single time where I was going. As a friend, I left her all alone, and on top of that I kept a secret this huge from her. I don't even know how I'm going to fix this." Maki offers an idea. "Maybe we need to keep some distance for now. I know we both love spending time together, but ever since we became close friends, you've been spending a lot less time with you. So how about we stop meeting up for a while, so you can focus on your friendship with her?" Hearing that clearly doesn't sit well with Umi. Maki tries to reassure her. "I'm not saying we should end our friendship. I'm just saying maybe we shouldn't meet as often as we used to, at least for a little while." He keeps rambling on, so she puts her hand over his mouth to get him to stop for a second, and holding his hand, she asks, "Even if I actually did that, wouldn't it upset you? You don't really have any other friends besides me. Wouldn't you end up all alone?" He says, "I understand, and yeah, I would be really upset if you stopped spending time with me. But right now, you need to think about you. She needs you more than I do right now." So she agrees, and the two of them go find you, and they're still holding hands. Yu looks at them and says, "Looks like the two of you have gotten pretty close." And now Umi tells her the whole truth, that the two of them had actually only become friends recently, though it's already been 3 or 4 months. "Maki gets me. We have the same hobbies, and he's a really good friend to me." Yu asks, "Better than me?" Umi immediately says, "Absolutely not. The two of you are equal to me. I can't rank you. I like Maki exactly as much as I like you. But I do want to apologize to you for hiding all of this. I shouldn't have done that." Yu, practically shouting, says, "Do you have any idea how scared I was? I thought you wanted to end our friendship. I didn't know what to do with myself. I thought, now that Maki's your good friend, you probably don't even want to talk to me anymore." Umi apologizes to her too. "I'm sorry that I made you feel that way because of me." And Yu hugs her, apologizing in turn. because she'd never once noticed how other people's behavior had been making Umi feel all this time. Then Umi tells her, "From now on, Maki and I are going to stop meeting up, just for a while so I can give you my time. Think of it as my way of making it up to you." You says, "Are you two seriously out of your minds? Why would you do that? You just told me a minute ago that you can't rank the two of us, and now you're saying you'll stop seeing him for my sake? That doesn't make any sense. You can't just leave Maki all alone. He doesn't really have many other friends either." Then you says, "But there is one thing you can do for me. You both need to grant me 2 wishes." Her first wish is that Umi and Maki walk around the entire school holding hands and go check out all the festival decorations together. Since it was her wish, they had no choice but to go through with it, so the two of them start walking around hand in hand. Umi says, "Everyone's probably going to think you got dared to do this," and Nina takes about 1,000 photos of them, saying, "These'll come in handy for blackmail later." So now the two of them are going around checking out everyone's decorations, and they come across a horror-themed club that Maki's terrified to walk into, but Umi drags him in anyway. You watch B-grade horror movies and you're scared of ghosts? That doesn't even make sense. Don't worry, though. I'm right here with you. I won't ever let go of your hand. But the moment 3 or 4 ghosts jump out at them, she's the very first one to run. Still, the two of them end up having a great time overall, while you chats with her other 2 friends nearby. After school lets out, the two of them head home again to get some snacks ready, but they're not alone this time, because Yu's there too, and she says, "Why are you two staring at me? Did you forget I'm a ghost? Just ignore me." As it turns out, her second wish was that she wanted to watch how the two of them actually spend time together, meaning you would be there with them but she wouldn't say or do anything. She'd act like she wasn't even there, like an actual ghost. She reminds them again, "Stop looking at me. I'm a ghost. Just go back to doing whatever you were doing." So they do. The two of them start playing a game on the Switch and Umi's losing as usual. For a little while, the two of them genuinely forget Yu's even there, and it's only much later that it hits them again. Umi walks over and starts apologizing to her, but Yu just says, "Who are you apologizing to? I'm a ghost." Umi says, "I really love spending time with Maki, so if you don't mind, can I keep spending Fridays with him?" Yu says, "I don't mind at all. You spend 4 days a week with me, so you can spend 1 day with Maki too. Though you do have to tell me everything you two get up to." Then, hugging her, Yu says, "Well, it's time for this ghost to head home, so I'm off." Umi offers to walk her home, but Yu flatly refuses. You two spend time together, and the two of them end up watching a movie instead. It's really cold, so they end up sitting close together under a shared blanket, and they decide that since the whole school already knows about their friendship now, maybe it's time they start using each other's first names. So they start doing that, though they're both still pretty shy about it. And when Maki sees her laughing, he can't hold back anymore, and finally tells her, "I've been hiding this from you for a while now because I never had the courage to say it, but I can finally say it now. Whenever you smile, you look more beautiful than any other girl I know." Smiling, she asks, "Do you like me?" And the poor guy has no idea how to answer that. A little while later, he walks her home, and Umi says, "We'll meet again next week." But before leaving, she pauses, looks back at him and says, "You still haven't answered my question. Do you like me?" Maki still can't say anything, and she pouts. Why is such a simple question taking him this long to answer? So he says, "If it's such a simple question, then you answer it. Do you like me?" And she flatly says, "No, I don't like you." And his heart just shatters. If she doesn't like him, then why was she even asking him that question in the first place? Maybe she's just trying to put him down. But then she leans in close and kisses him on the cheek and says, "I don't like you because I'm in love with you. And as for the second kiss, you'll get that once you admit that you love me too." And with that, she walks off. So now Umi's admitted her feelings. All that's left now is for Maki to admit his. We're shown a scene where Maki's mom is yelling furiously, "Why do you always do this? Why didn't you tell me any of this earlier?" And so on, while Maki just sits there listening. But she's not actually saying any of this to Maki, and then she suddenly starts crying. He tries to calm her down. "What's wrong? Why are you so upset?" But the moment he goes to comfort her, she vanishes into thin air. Then we see that the person his mom had been yelling at wasn't Maki at all. It was his dad, and his dad vanishes too, just like his mom had. Then we realize it was all just a dream, and he wakes up startled from it. He says to himself, "I used to have this dream every single night, but once I got to high school, it stopped. So why did it come back tonight?" The dream had put him in a bit of a bad mood, but once he's up and thinks it over properly, it clicks for him why he had that dream. It was because of Umi's confession. Last night, Umi had admitted that she's in love with him, and there's no doubt that he loves her just as much. But is love even a real thing, or is it just attraction? He starts looking through an old family photo, one where his mom, his dad, and he himself all look genuinely happy, and he thinks about how his mom used to love his dad so deeply. But his dad left them, and it completely destroyed her. There are barely any moments now where she laughs freely. She carries so much stress that he can actually see wrinkles forming on her face. I've watched my own family fall apart with my own eyes, he thinks, and ever since his parents' divorce, he'd stopped believing in love altogether. He'd never once imagined he'd fall in love himself, since he'd always lived a solitary life. But meeting Umi changed everything. Still, he doesn't want the same thing to happen to him that happened between his mom and dad. So he decides he won't say yes to dating Umi until he's become someone worthy of her, because he doesn't want her to ever leave him the way his dad left his mom. Right then, a message comes in from Umi, asking if he wants to walk to school together, since the whole school already knew about their friendship now, so there was no point hiding it anymore. So the two of them are walking to school comfortably. Winter had set in, and preparations for Christmas were already underway, and on their walk, Umi says, "I told you my feelings yesterday. I told you I love you, but you still haven't given me any kind of answer. It's not like you're using me as some kind of backup plan, is it? Like you're thinking you'll go confess to some girl better than me, and if she rejects you, you'll just come back to me? That's not what's going through your head, is it?" He's stunned. Where did she even get that idea? "I would never do that," he says. "I just want to prove myself first." He apologizes to her anyway. "I understand why you'd think that. You've already told me your feelings, and I'm still hesitating to tell you mine. But trust me, I'm working on becoming better, just for you." She laughs and says, "I was only teasing. I already know I'll always be your number one choice, so take as much time as you need. You're pretty lucky, you know, I understand you so well. If it had been any other girl in my place, she'd have punched you straight in the face and sent you flying 3 feet back." And chatting away like this, she notices Maki's lips look a little too chapped, so she pulls out a lip balm from her pocket and applies it on him without even asking. "You should take better care of yourself," she says. Maki looks a little surprised. "Wait, is that the same lip balm you always use?" At first the thought doesn't register with Umi, but then it clicks. He means that this basically counts as an indirect kiss between them, since she uses that same lip balm, and now he's used it too. She says, "Doesn't matter, I don't mind. And besides, I only just bought this lip balm this morning. I haven't even used it myself yet, so no indirect kiss between us just yet." Hearing that, Maki's a little disappointed. Even an indirect one would have been something. He'd been thinking they'd actually kissed in some way, and he starts walking on, looking a bit down. Then she whispers softly in his ear, "We could use the same lip balm all the time, you know, if we started dating," and he starts blushing, while she runs off ahead. The two of them make it to school, and the moment they arrive, Yu pounces on Umi like a puppy and drags her off. Who knows when she's ever going to stop following her around. By now, Maki had become good friends with both of them, so Nina talks to him too, wishing him good morning and calling him class leader instead of Maki. He finds it a little strange. "Why are you calling me class leader?" Nina says, "Why wouldn't I? You led our class during the summer festival. You and Umi are the reason our class won. So yeah, you're basically our leader." He tries to explain, "That wasn't just me though. Everyone put in equal effort. We couldn't have done it without them." But she insists, "It was your idea though. Anyway, forget all that. Tell me what actually matters. Are you and Umi dating? Come on, tell me how far things have gone. Have you two held hands yet? Have you kissed yet?" And she starts grilling him for details. But just then Umi shows up. "What are you two talking about behind my back?" she says, catching Nina in a headlock, and Nina apologizes, promising she won't do it again. After dealing with Nina, Umi heads back to her desk and sits down. Yu starts giving her sideways glares. "What's gotten into you now? Why are you staring at me like that?" Umi asks. Yu says, laughing a little, "You've been acting weirdly awkward around Maki lately. Did something happen between you two?" And Umi starts blushing furiously. "Nothing happened between us. We're still just good friends." The truth is, neither of them had told anyone about the confession yet, but Yu knows her so well that she can just tell something's going on between the two of them from looking at her. Yu says, "I've known you since we were kids. You can't hide anything from me. Just look at your face. It's as red as a tomato. You never used to act like this before." And she starts teasing her about it, while unbeknownst to them, some boy nearby had been watching the two of them for quite a while now. Anyway, they start talking about Christmas, since it's coming up, and Maki invites Umi over to his place, but she angrily refuses, saying she already has other plans. We'll find out later why she was upset, though really, she was more sad than angry. Then the scene cuts and we're shown some boy confessing to you. It's not shown on screen, but by now, more than half the school had already confessed to you at some point. This boy asks her, "Would you go out with me? We could go to the Christmas party together." But you turns him down. "I can't. I'm going with my friends. And besides, there's someone else I like. Let's just hope she doesn't mean Maki." Nina, Umi, and Maki were all listening in on this. Maki felt a little uncomfortable eavesdropping like that, since it's not really a nice thing to do. But you wasn't exactly innocent either. She did the exact same thing to others all the time. So now he starts thinking about the Christmas party. As it turns out, registration for the Christmas party had to be done way in advance. But back when registration was open, Umi and Maki weren't even friends yet, and he never really talked to anyone at school, so he never signed up for the party at all. And now the poor guy feels bad that he won't get to spend time with Umi, which was exactly why Umi had turned down his invitation to begin with. Now all he can think is, if only he could go back in time and fix his mistake. When he tells you about it, she's shocked too. "That's terrible. I thought you could still register. The party won't be any fun without you." But he says, "It's nobody's fault but mine. I should have registered earlier. At least the three of you can still enjoy it." You says, "Who said the three of us are even going together? I've got other plans. I'm actually going with my boyfriend that night." Everyone's stunned. "Since when did she have a boyfriend?" You says, "You always get every bit of gossip out of us. And when it comes to your own dating life, you didn't even tell us?" Nina says, "It happened really fast, actually. During the school festival, a senior confessed to me and I said yes. Want more details about my new boyfriend?" And the two of them start listening in, thoroughly entertained. But we're shown that the same boy who'd been staring at them earlier is still watching them now. What's actually going on in his head? Then he grabs Maki and pulls him aside. "I need to talk to you," he says, and Maki's already terrified just looking at him. The guy looked like a straight-up athlete, tall and clearly in great shape, meaning if it ever came to a fight between them, Maki wouldn't last 2 seconds. Maki starts thinking to himself, "Is this one of those guys who bullies kids for money? What do I do now? I can't even fight back. Do I have to give him money?" He braces himself to get hit, even tilting his cheek forward, but when he opens his eyes, the guy's actually got his hands folded together, pleading. Maki's stunned. What's going on here? The boy says, "I need your help," and tells him his whole story. "I'm a baseball player. Baseball's been the only love of my life. But the moment I got to this school, I saw you, and it felt like something inside me just shifted. It's the first time I've ever been this attracted to a girl. The first time anything besides baseball has ever mattered to me. I've been in love with her since the very first time I saw her at this school. The only problem is, I've never once managed to say a word to her. And there's only 4 months left before this school year ends. After that, we'll probably end up in different classes. And I'll lose my chance completely. So I don't want to stay silent anymore. I need to confess my feelings to her. I don't have much time left, but if I go straight up to her, she'll definitely turn me down, because I'm a complete stranger to her. So I want you to help the two of us become friends first. I know she's a really close friend of yours, so what if you introduced me to her, we talk for a bit, and then I confess to her after that? Please, invite me to your Christmas party, and invite her too, so I can get to know her." But Maki flatly refuses. "I can't do that. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on you. But if you need help with anything else, feel free to ask me." Then he apologizes again. "This was my fault. I never talked to you before today, and now I'm asking you to set me up with her. That really wasn't a good idea. I'm sorry. Anyway, my name's Seiki, and it was good talking to you. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed. You look like the type who'd just go along with whatever someone asks. But you stood by your friend and turned me down. You're genuinely brave, and honestly really cool." Maki thinks to himself, "I'm not cool at all, especially not in front of her." Thinking of Umi, still feeling like he isn't good enough for her. The two of them start heading home. Umi tells him, "I really don't feel like going to the party at all. For one thing, you're not coming, and on top of that, those 2 girls who used to be my friends will be there too. It'll be tough facing them. But I have to go, since I already paid for the ticket in advance, and if I don't show up after paying, my mom will actually kill me. I won't really be able to enjoy it, so I'll just eat something and head back early." Then she suddenly stops and says, "Actually, the party should be over by around 8 or 9. So what if the 2 of us spend time together after that?" He says, "That sounds great. The moment your party ends, I'll meet you right outside the gate. And after that, we can hang out together." And with that, he heads home, where he finds his mom smoking a cigarette inside the house. Yes, his mom did smoke, but never in front of him. She'd only done it once before and only when she was extremely depressed. His mom apologizes to him. I shouldn't have done that. I've just been really stressed. You know how much work piles up at the office around Christmas. He's not angry with her. He understands. He's just sad, because the last time she'd smoked in front of him was right when she and his dad got divorced. He makes her a cup of coffee and spends some time with her, hoping it'll make her feel a little better, and he asks for her permission to have his friends over on the night of the 24th. His mom agrees. Although he'd actually been planning to spend that time with Umi, Yu suddenly jumps into the conversation, excitedly saying, I can't believe you invited me to the party. I can't wait to celebrate Christmas at your place. Maki has absolutely no idea what she's talking about. Why is she this excited? Who invited her? He looks over at Umi. This had to be her doing somehow. Then she explains the whole thing to him. Apparently, the night before, Yu had called Umi and they were talking about the party, and Umi had told her, you'll need to find someone else to be with that night, because I can't come home with you. I've got plans with someone else. Yu had caught on immediately that this someone else had to be Maki, and she teased Umi about it. You two have been acting way too lovey-dovey lately. Tell me the truth, are you two dating? Why would you even hide that from me? Umi had said, we're not dating. I just want to spend time with him. Can't friends spend time together? And in her haste, she'd blurted out, it's totally normal between friends. You could even join us. Poor innocent Yu got excited hearing that the two of them were inviting her along. And before anyone starts calling you a third wheel here, let me defend her for a second. The truth is, neither Umi nor Maki had told her yet that they were in love with each other. So as far as you knew, they were just close friends, and she just wanted to spend time with her friends. If she'd known they were actually in love, she would never have inserted herself between them like that. The poor girl was just happy to be spending time with her friends. She had no idea she was crashing their date. So now, once they get to school, Seiki approaches Yu. I need to talk to you alone. If you don't mind, could you come with me? And Yu agrees. By now, the whole school knew he was definitely going to confess to her, and Umi says, don't you want to go watch what she says? Nina says, yeah, I do, but we all already know her answer's going to be no. Yu never says yes to any guy. Well, unless we're talking about the class leader, because honestly, it really does look like Yu likes him. The moment she says that, Umi's practically radiating dark energy, and seeing that, Nina panics. I was just joking. That's all. Nina had already started suspecting something was going on between the two of them. Meanwhile, on the other side, Seiki confesses to her, and poor Yu still looks sad. She always hates having to reject people. But she can't give anyone false hope either, so she turns him down too, and word spreads through the whole school. Umi says, I'm going to go talk to you. She needs me right now. Nina adds, you should go talk to Seiki too. The poor guy's probably devastated. And even though they weren't exactly friends, Maki, as a fellow classmate, goes over to him anyway. You confessed way too fast, Maki tells him. You should have built up a friendship with her first. Seiki says, I just didn't have much time. But yeah, you're right, I messed up. So tell me, what's the whole school saying about me? Maki tells him it doesn't matter. They're just talking nonsense 24 hours a day anyway. Honestly, half the time I can't even understand what they're saying, because it's such nonsense that my brain just refuses to process it. Hearing that, Seiki laughs. You're so quiet in class. I had no idea you were this funny. Then he asks him, though it's clearly a question weighing on himself too, so you rejected you. What are you going to do now? Maki says, I'll try to move on, and maybe find someone else to love. But even Maki knows that's not going to be easy. Then Seiki says, you're pretty lucky in love though. You're dating Umi, right? Maki's stunned. Wait, who told you that? Yeah, I mean, we do like each other, but we're not dating yet. So who's actually spreading this rumor? Seiki says, anyone could look at the two of you and tell you're dating. Ever since the festival, Umi's been taking a lot more care of herself. She smiles way more than before, and the way she blushes around you. Even a blind person could tell something's going on between you two. Maki admits, yeah, we do like each other, and she even confessed to me, but I haven't replied to that yet because I don't think I'm good enough for her, and until I actually become good enough, I'm not going to confess my feelings to her. Seiki tries to reason with him. Look, I know I've got no business giving anyone love advice, considering I just got rejected myself. But hear me out on this one thing, don't wait too long. Umi's a beautiful girl. Guys are lining up for her, so don't take so long that someone else swoops in and takes her from you. And I'm giving you this advice as a brother would. Maki's stunned. What does he mean, as a brother? He's surprised because he's never really made friends easily, and hears this guy calling him his brother. Seiki says, "Why are you so surprised? I really enjoyed talking to you. You give off this pro kind of vibe. But if you don't like it, I won't call you that." Maki says, "That's not what I meant. Honestly, nobody's ever talked to me like this before. I don't talk to many people, and I'm a little surprised too, because when you asked me for help, I flat out refused you, but you're completely ready to help me instead." Seiki says, "You're overthinking this. I genuinely wasn't upset when you turned down my request." Maki says, "In that case, could we be friends?" And Seiki has no problem with that either. From then on, Maki starts calling Seiki by his first name, Nozomu. Finally, Maki had made another friend. After school that day, Umi comes over to Maki's place, and he makes her some coffee and tells her he made a new friend today. She's a little surprised. "You two have such different vibes. You're so calm and quiet, and he plays baseball. I never would have dreamed you two would become friends. You're both so different." Maki says, "People just look different on the surface. We only really get to know someone once we actually talk to them." And that was true because Umi and Maki themselves had seemed like completely different people at first too, yet they turned out to share the exact same hobbies. She says, "Yeah, it is a little strange. You rejected that guy just today, and now he's your friend. But hey, it's great that you're making more friends." By now, Seiki's advice was replaying in Maki's head. Don't wait too long to tell her how you feel. So he asks her, "How about we meet up next Saturday to watch a movie?" He explains further, "We only meet on Fridays, and on Saturdays we're both just at home. What if we spend Saturdays together too?" She says, "I'm in, but on one condition. You have to come shopping with me on Friday after school." He says, "I don't mind at all, but where are we going?" She explains, "We're going shopping. You know how terrible your fashion sense is, right? Last time you literally showed up wearing all black." So off they go shopping. And of course, could the two of them possibly go anywhere without you tagging along? The poor two of them never seem to get any time alone. As they're walking through the crowded mall, Yu gets bumped and nearly falls, and Maki catches her, and the two of them end up really close together. Holding onto his arm, she says, "Wow, your arms are so firm. You're actually really strong." And she just doesn't let go of his hand. And watching this, Umi's absolutely burning up with jealousy. She tells the two of them, "Could you two step apart a little?" And they immediately jump back, with Yu apologizing, "Sorry, I got a little lost in the moment." And they go back to shopping, though Umi's still pouting. See, even though they're not officially dating yet, she's still in love with Maki, and she doesn't like seeing him around other girls. Maki picks up on this, so he tries to take her hand himself, using the excuse, "You might get lost in this crowd, so how about we hold hands?" And they do, and she turns completely red with embarrassment. Yu notices all this, and it only deepens her suspicion that something's definitely going on between the two of them. They keep shopping for a long time, and Maki had never in his life imagined that shopping with girls could be this exhausting. He's completely drained by the end of it, and he steps into the restroom for a break. That's when he gets a message from Umi, saying she's waiting outside, wearing a really nice dress she wants to show him. A dress she'd actually bought for their Saturday date. The moment he steps out of the restroom, he bumps straight into a man. He apologizes and starts picking up the man's things, and then he hears the man's voice. "Well, look who it is. It's been a while, Maki." And he realizes the man is none other than his own father. Maki's completely stunned to see his dad here. What's he even doing in this place? His dad asks him the exact same thing. "What are you doing here?" Then laughs and says, "Oh right, I forgot. You're not a little kid anymore. You're in high school now, so I guess you're here hanging out with friends, right?" Maki tells him, "I'm not here to hang out. I just came to do some shopping." He doesn't mention Yu and Umi to his dad. He has no idea what his dad would think, seeing him out here with two girls. His dad says, "I honestly can't even remember the last time I saw you. I think it was over summer break, right?" Maki agrees, "Yeah, it's been several months since then." His dad apologizes, "I'm sorry I haven't been able to find time to see you. You know how demanding this job is. Sometimes I don't even get time to eat. But I really should be making time for my own son at the very least." Maki asks him, "So what are you doing here at this mall?" His dad explains, "I actually came here to meet a client. I had a meeting just now. I was rushing over there and ran into you on the way." "Well, it's good. At least we got to see each other because of it." Maki starts to feel a little bad for him. "Your job really does sound tough. Seems like you barely get any free time at all." His dad laughs, putting a hand on his head. "It's not that big a deal. I was built for hard work," brushing it off as a joke. But just then, a girl's voice calls out from behind, calling for his dad. "You're so late for the meeting. I had to come looking for you. What are you even doing here?" his dad introduces her to his son. Minato, meet my son, Maki. For some reason, Minato doesn't look too pleased hearing that. There's no hostility on her face exactly, but she clearly hadn't expected to ever run into her boss's son like this. Still, she introduces herself politely. My name's Mina, she says, and since she'd introduced herself, Maki has to return the courtesy. My name's Ahara Maki. Just as he's talking to them, his phone starts buzzing with messages from Yu and Umi, and his dad realizes he's busy with his friends, so he doesn't hold him up. As Maki walks off, for some reason Mina turns and watches him go. Whether it was jealousy on her face or something else, I can't really say, but for some reason she was staring after him. As Maki walks away, all those old memories start flooding back. How badly his mom had cried during the divorce, how his dad had walked out on her, and how his dad had apologized to him right before leaving. He's so lost in thought that he doesn't even notice when he reaches the other two. Yu starts teasing Umi, you know, while you were gone so long. Umi got so worried, she couldn't even sit still. The poor thing was probably thinking, what happened to my Maki? And the moment she opens her mouth to say more, Umi grabs her by the mouth and yanks her back so she can't say anything else, telling her, your mouth never stops running. You know, talking too much isn't a good thing. By now it's gotten pretty late, and they'd been shopping for hours, so they decide to grab dinner at a restaurant. Umi had been asking him for a while what he wanted to eat, but he was completely lost in his own thoughts, still thinking about his dad. She smacks him on the head and asks, what's gotten into you? Ever since we got back from shopping, you've seemed totally out of it. You're not answering anything I say. You're lost in some other world entirely. You know, it's not great to just zone out like this when we're all together, right? Just then Yu walks up too, and she also notices something's off with Maki. I've genuinely never seen him this quiet before, she says and tells him, if you're not in the mood, we won't force you to eat with us. But Maki says, it's not that. Yeah, I admit my mood's a little off, but my stomach's empty, so I'm definitely going to eat something. So they order a ton of food, and Yu orders the most out of anyone. She practically orders enough food for 3 people on her own. And that's not all. She'd already started eating ice cream, which people usually eat after the meal. Umi scolds her a little. Stop acting like such a kid. First you order all this food, and now you're already eating ice cream before we've even started? Are you even going to be able to finish everything? Yu fires back. You should stop calling me a kid. You're the real kid here. You mixed orange juice and cola together in your soda. That explains why your drink looked so weird. Poor Umi's face falls and Yu keeps going. And anyway, I'll definitely finish everything, because ice cream has its own separate stomach. This ice cream's not going to fill me up at all. Maki cuts in. Can you two stop bickering? We're here to enjoy ourselves. Umi, sounding a little offended, says, I'm not a little kid. I was just experimenting to see how good it'd taste if I mixed 2 sodas together. And she takes a sip of her drink and says, see, I was right. It tastes amazing. Want to try it? Now Yu gets curious too. Does it really taste that good? She has to try it herself, and the moment she takes a sip, her whole mood sours instantly, and Umi bursts out laughing because she'd successfully fooled her. Annoyed, Yu says, don't ever prank me like that again. That's the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life. And Maki starts laughing too. He'd been a little tense earlier, but after spending time with his friends, he feels a lot lighter now. By this point they'd finished all their shopping, and among the things Umi had bought were new clothes for Maki, since the 2 of them were going on their date the next day. The next morning, Maki starts getting ready, because today was his very first date, and he's incredibly nervous. He can't wait to see Umi. They'd planned to meet outside the cinema, but instead, she shows up right outside his house. Umi arrives at his doorstep, and Maki can't take his eyes off her, because she dressed completely differently today, and why wouldn't she, since she'd gotten all dressed up for their date? He keeps staring at her for so long that she finally says, are you just going to keep staring at me? Or are you going to invite me in? It's freezing out here. He keeps staring anyway, so she asks, why are you looking at me like that? A little flustered, he says, that's not what I meant. I was just thinking, it's so cold outside. Why are you wearing a skirt? Aren't you cold? She says, yeah, I am, but it was my date today, so I wanted to wear something special. I couldn't wait to show you my outfit, so I just came straight to your house instead. So tell me, how do I look? A little shy, Maki tells her she looks really beautiful, and she's happy to hear it. So the 2 of them head off for their date, and since they're finally an official couple now, they walk hand in hand, though Maki makes the excuse that he's only holding her hand because it's cold. Umi teases him, if you're cold, then why is your hand sweating so much? Why don't you just admit you're really nervous? Hearing that, he almost lets go of her hand, but she doesn't let him, and the two of them keep walking hand in hand. Catching his reflection in a shop window, he thinks to himself that they look like a typical high school couple. He'd never imagined he'd ever have a girlfriend, especially not someone as beautiful as Umi. They head off to watch a movie, and Umi had booked a couple's seat, and the moment they sit down, she snuggles right up against him. Maki says, "The movie hasn't even started yet. Why are you sticking so close to me?" Umi says, "Then what was even the point of booking a couple's seat? In case you didn't know, couples cuddle while watching movies. Just look around at how the other couples are sitting. Unless what you're really saying is that you don't want to cuddle with me?" Maki says, "That's not what I meant. I'm just not used to this." Then the movie starts, and Umi says, "What if some kid from our class sees us together? Because right now, nobody besides you knows about us." Later, the movie ends, and when they step outside, Umi's stretching and yawning, which means she'd definitely fallen asleep during the movie. She says, "I slept so well. I've genuinely never seen a worse movie in my life." Maki says, "You fell asleep like 30 minutes into the movie. If you didn't even like this movie, why did you book tickets for it in the first place?" She says, "Because I was being a huge idiot. I figured since we were on a date, we should watch a romantic movie. I mean, that's what couples do, right? I had no idea this kind of movie could be this bad. We should have just watched the other one instead. Dead End Shark, the one with sharks, crocodiles, an octopus, and even a cyborg. That would have actually been fun." Now Maki feels a little guilty too. Why didn't they just watch that one? But well, nothing to be done about it now. So they grab dinner at a restaurant and come back, chatting about what they liked and didn't like, and once again, their tastes turned out to be exactly the same. Even after all that food, they end up going out for burgers afterward. But on the way, Umi spots a karaoke place, and she gets super excited. Maki refuses at first. "I've never been to karaoke before, so I'm not going." But Umi says, "Well, I'm definitely dragging you in there now, and if you refuse, I'll literally carry you in myself." So they finally go in, and Umi sings for a long time, and her voice is genuinely amazing. She even scores 98%. She asks Maki to sing too, but he's incredibly nervous, since he's never sung a single song in his entire life, especially not in front of anyone. Umi says, "If you're nervous, I'll sing with you," which gives him a bit of courage, and the two of them end up singing together, and Maki actually ends up having a lot of fun with it. By this point, they're both exhausted, so they sit down to rest on a bench, and end up cuddling again since Umi's feeling really cold. Then Umi asks him a question, "What do you actually think of me?" Because Maki still hadn't replied to her confession. Sure, they were on a date, but he still hadn't actually said out loud that he loved her. She didn't want to force him to say it, but she'd still love to hear it from him. And finally, Maki was ready to say it because he did like her too, and maybe he was starting to believe in love again. But just as he's about to whisper it in her ear, he spots his dad with Minato, and it's like Maki's entire world just stops. He tells Umi, "That's my dad." Umi says, "Your dad seems awfully close with that girl. It kind of looks like they're on a date." Maki starts to walk off, saying, "I don't want them to see us." But before he can leave, Umi pulls him into a hug and says, "Don't move, they're coming this way," and she covers his face completely, so they won't be recognized, and it works. His dad and Mina walk right past without noticing him. Seeing his dad with another woman stings a little, though it's not really his dad's fault, since he's divorced now and free to see whoever he wants. Still, Maki's mood sours again, and the two of them head home. He finds his mom smoking again, and she apologizes once more, but he's not upset with her. He understands how much she's been struggling lately. His mom asks him about the date, how it went, and when the next one is. But then she asks, "What are you doing next Friday?" Maki tells her their exams start next Friday. Then his mom says, "I got a message from your dad. He wants to meet you next Friday." Then we're shown another flashback, back when his parents got divorced. As part of the divorce agreement, Maki would live with his mom, but he'd see his dad once a month. It's not like he hated his dad, though, because every time he did meet him once a month, his dad would take him to some really fancy restaurant and let him order whatever he wanted. His dad always fulfilled his duty as a father, which is exactly why Maki liked him too. His mom says, "Usually we're the ones who decide the date, but this time he wants to meet you on a Friday, right when your exams are coming up too." Maki says, "It's his right, he can meet me whenever he wants. And honestly, why shouldn't he? We're living such a good life because of him, since he supports us financially every single month, and that's the only reason we can afford this lifestyle." In my opinion, Maki really shouldn't have said that, because maybe he wasn't seeing just how hard his mom worked for him too. Hearing that, his mom goes quiet for a moment. Then Maki starts thinking about his dad again. Who exactly is this Mina? Did his dad meet her after the divorce, or was their relationship going on even before that? Was his dad cheating on his mom? Maki finally asks her, "Do you still love Dad?" His mom says, "That's a really complicated question. Your dad was my first love, and we spent 15 years of our life together. After the divorce, I really don't even want to look at his face. But even so, maybe there's still a corner of my heart that cares about him, and I can't really change that. I still have that family photo we took together. I just haven't been able to throw it away." Maki's stunned. "You still kept Dad's photo?" She shows him the entire family photo album, where Maki was still really little, and his mom tells him how scared he used to be of cameras. He'd always hide behind her whenever it was time to take a picture. There was even a photo from his old middle school in there, with the whole family together, and his mom just never had the heart to throw this album away. Maybe his dad doesn't feel the same about her anymore, but maybe she still cares about him. Maki thinks about it for a long while. Should he tell his mom about that girl, that his dad's dating someone else? How would his mom take it? She's already had such a hard time moving on since the divorce. If he told her his dad was seeing someone new, she might not be able to handle it. Maybe it's better if he just doesn't tell her, and tries to forget about it himself too. So Maki and his mom spend a long time going through the album, reliving old memories from when their whole family was still together. Since the album was already out, she shows it to Umi the next day, and Umi's absolutely delighted looking through it. She can't believe how cute Maki was as a kid, and she's never seen him laugh this freely before. But his mom comes over to tease him some more. Yeah, he laughed a lot as a kid, but he also cried a lot. Whenever he got scared or hurt himself, he'd cling to me crying, "Mommy, mommy." He just never left me alone. And Umi starts imagining how adorable he must have looked doing all that. But just then, Maki walks in and asks, "What are you two doing here so early in the morning?" And he quickly realizes Umi is looking through his childhood photos, and he already knows his mom must have told her all sorts of embarrassing stories, so he doesn't even bother arguing. "I loved all your photos, they were genuinely wonderful," Umi says, but Maki doesn't want to talk about any of it. "Just forget all about it," he says. "Pretend you never even saw these photos." Umi says, "How am I supposed to forget when I'm actually taking some of these photos home with me? Don't worry, though, I won't show them to you." At first Maki doesn't understand what she means by taking them home. Then she explains, "I asked your mom. I asked if I could take a few of these photos with me, and she said yes. They're in my bag right now, and they're staying with me for the rest of my life." His mom chimes in to defend herself. She asked so sweetly, "I couldn't say no." But Maki ends up yelling at both his mom and Umi, "You shouldn't take my photos without asking me first. And Mom, you should have at least asked me before giving them away." But he knows arguing is pointless, since there's no way he's winning against these two, so he gives up. So the two of them are getting ready for school, and his mom heads off to the office. But right as she's leaving, she realizes she doesn't have her cigarettes or lighter with her, so she calls Maki downstairs, and like I mentioned before, his mom never used to smoke in front of him. So why is she doing it so openly now? That's probably the same question running through Maki's mind too. But then he notices the dark circles under her eyes. It means she's been working herself to the bone at the office, so much that she doesn't even get time to smoke there. So she's smoking at home instead to relieve all that stress. He thinks to himself, why is she pushing herself this hard? If this keeps up, she's gonna make herself sick. Then his mom tells him, one more thing, don't tell Umi too much about our family situation right now. Who knows what the poor girl would think? And Maki's mind drifts right back to last night's conversation. How is he supposed to tell his mom that her own husband was cheating on her? Maybe even before the divorce? He just can't bring himself to say it. His mom leaves for work, and Maki heads back inside, where Umi's waiting for him, and the two of them have breakfast together. Then Maki says, I need to talk to you about Friday. Umi gets excited immediately. I thought you'd never bring it up, since our exams are coming up and we usually just have fun on Fridays. What if this Friday we both have fun and study together? Maki says, I actually can't come with you this Friday. I have to go see my dad. She asks, are you sure? You haven't seen your dad at all since we became friends. Maki explains, it's completely normal actually. I used to see him every month, but he suddenly got really busy. Umi presses further. And what about that woman we saw with your dad yesterday? Maki says, I don't want to talk about that, and I'm not going to ask my dad about her either. My mom and dad are already separated, so it's better if I just stay out of his personal life. Anyway, what I actually wanted to ask you was, since I'm completely unavailable on Friday, what if we start studying for exams before then instead? I can't afford to skip studying. Umi says, that's actually great. That means we get to spend the whole week together. Let me do one thing. I'll invite you too, because if she doesn't study with us, she's definitely going to fail. Maki's a little surprised. Yus coming too? Honestly, he didn't mind you at all. The real issue was that his friend Seiki was coming too. And if you remember, Seiki's the one who confessed to you and got rejected, so things could get a little awkward. So at school, they all discussed this. You says, even if Seiki comes, I really don't mind. Yeah, I rejected him, but he's not my enemy. That puts Maki's mind at ease a little. At least there's no problem on her end. But then you asks, enough about studying. Tell me, what snacks are you going to make me? Are you going to whip up something new? You know how much I love your cooking. And right at that, Umi grabs her by the mouth and says, I didn't invite you here to eat. You know you barely passed last time. If you don't focus, you're definitely going to fail this time. So you apologizes and promises not to bring up food again. After school, they all head home together. Seiki, meanwhile, feels like he's hit the jackpot. He's thrilled that Yu's coming along too. Sure, she'd already rejected him, but who knows, maybe they'll become friends, and maybe she'll start liking him eventually. So Seiki says to Maki, you're really such a good friend. You're doing this so I can get closer to you, right? But is that even okay? You know she already rejected me. Maki says, I already talked to you about this. She doesn't mind if you join us at all. And besides, we're here to study, not to mess around. He says this last part jokingly, and then they all get down to studying. Everyone's focused on their books, and Seiki wants to talk to you about something, but he can't just approach her directly. So he starts by asking Umi, so what rank does she usually get? But instead of Umi, Yu answers for herself. She's always in the top 5. She's incredibly smart. Even if she took the exam without studying at all, she'd still score the highest. Then Umi gets up and smacks her on the head. Why are you acting so proud about this? Whether I'm first, second, or third has nothing to do with you. Focus on your own studies. But Yu says, that's not fair. Can't I be happy for my friend? Then Seiki asks Maki, and what about you? Maki says, I'm usually somewhere in the top 50. Hearing that, Seiki looks dejected. You two are both so smart. If this keeps up, I won't even be in your class after this exam. Hearing that gets you worried too. If she doesn't score well this time, she might get separated from Umi too. I don't want to go to a different class, she says. Umi snaps at her. If you don't want to change classes, then focus on studying instead of crying about it. So they all go back to studying, and Yu starts asking Maki questions she's confused about. The moment Maki goes over to help her, Umi grabs his hand under the table so nobody else notices, and the two of them are both blushing. To make sure nobody suspects anything, Maki keeps teaching Yu, all while still holding Umi's hand the entire time. Once it's break time, Maki makes some pancakes, and it turns out Yu had really only come here for the pancakes. The studying was just an excuse for her. Meanwhile, poor Seiki keeps getting drawn closer to her, charmed by how cute she is, though he still doesn't say anything to her. Then Umi points out, you've got some cream on your cheek. Maki tries wiping it off 2 or 3 times, but he has no idea where exactly it is. So Umi walks over, wipes the cream off his cheek herself, and instead of using a tissue, she just eats it straight off her finger. And both Seiki and Yu were stunned watching this. Sure, they'd both had their suspicions before, but they still didn't know that the two of them were officially dating. Yu says, I get that you two have been going out a lot more lately, and you've gotten really close to each other. But could you at least save the romantic stuff for when you're alone, instead of doing it in front of the 4 of us? They both apologize, realizing they shouldn't have done that. Then Yu adds, honestly, I'm really jealous of you too. I wish I had a guy like Maki in my life too. Everyone's stunned hearing that, especially Maki and Seiki. Poor Seiki's probably sitting there wondering how he can become more like Maki. But Yu wasn't finished yet. Turns out the real reason she wanted a guy like Maki was so he could make her all sorts of new food, like pancakes, donuts, and so on. But Umi says, a guy like Maki could never handle you. You need someone with a ton of stamina and energy, because you're just non-stop energy 24 hours a day. No guy could keep up with you. Then she hugs you and says, except for you. You're the only one who can handle me. So yeah, if I ever date a guy, I'd want him to be just like you, or honestly, I should just clone you. After all this, they finally head home for the day. But right as they're stepping outside, Umi refuses to leave with them. I have something to take care of, she says. You two wait for me by the entrance gate. So the two of them head over, and just as Maki's about to turn and ask her why she stopped there, she grabs onto him tightly. Maki asks her, what's suddenly gotten into you? Are you okay? She admits she's not okay at all. Ever since you said she wanted a guy like you, I haven't been able to focus on anything. You're a really good friend of mine, but ever since we met, she's taken away everything that used to be mine. I'm not saying she does it on purpose. But still, when my two old friends Sanai and Monica left me for her, it really hurt, and it took me so long to move on from that. I don't want to lose you too, because if you left my life, I'd genuinely be traumatized, and I don't think I'd ever be able to move on again. He tries to loosen her grip, but she won't let go of him at all, like she's afraid that if she lets go now, she'll lose him forever. Maki reassures her, I only see you as a friend, nothing more. I only love you, no one else. Umi already knew that, of course, but hearing him say it out loud still feels good. Maki says, if that makes you feel a little better now, can you at least let go of me? But Umi just hugs him even tighter. I don't think I can let go of you, not even for several days pass and Friday finally arrives, the day he was supposed to meet his dad. While he's waiting for his dad, Umi keeps sending him message after message. You're going to some fancy restaurant and you can order whatever you want. That's so unfair. You're getting all this stuff for free. Why didn't you bring me along too? It's not that she actually wanted to eat there. The truth is, Umi was just worried about him. He tells her not to worry, that he'll keep her updated. Just then, his dad arrives. Order whatever you want, his dad tells him, and this time Maki ends up ordering practically the entire menu. His dad's stunned. You used to be so careful with spending before. Looks like you're determined to empty my wallet this time. Maki says, well, don't forget, you haven't taken me out to eat in months, so I'm making up for all of that today. And his dad doesn't mind at all, letting him order whatever he likes. After they finish eating, Maki asks him, do you love mom? His dad's stunned. Where did that question suddenly come from? He's never asked anything like that before. But his dad doesn't give a straight answer. I don't feel about your mom the way I used to. She was a wonderful wife, and even more than a wife, she was an incredible partner, and I respect her for that, and I probably always will. But respect and love are two completely different things. Maki doesn't quite know what to say to that, because as far as he knew, his mom and dad loved him equally. They'd even fought hard over his custody. But in Japan, custody usually goes to the mother anyway. Maki thinks to himself, if only his parents had never gotten divorced, maybe it happened because of that woman. So he asks his dad, why did you suddenly stop loving mom? Is it because of her, Mina? His dad's stunned again. He says, I figured you must have seen me that night, and now Maki himself is stunned. Wait, what do you mean? You saw me too, that night? His dad says, I'm your father. You could wear any disguise, hide anywhere. I'd recognize you in a crowd of 1 million people. You were there with your friend. So who is she? Your girlfriend. Maki says, yeah, we recently became friends. But that's not the topic right now. I want to know about Minato. You two seemed pretty close. His dad says, wait a second. Do you think I was cheating on your mom? Let me clarify something before the divorce happened. When I was still with your mother, I hadn't met Minato yet. I actually only met her after. She works at my office now after our divorce, and she helps me a lot with my work. That's why I spend some time with her. So if you think I cheated on your mother, that's absolutely not true. Maki says, okay, fine, I believe you completely. But I want to know, do you love Minato now? And again, his dad doesn't give a direct answer. She's incredibly helpful. She knows everything about me. Maki asks again, do you like her or not? His dad just says, think whatever you want to think. And Maki starts thinking about his mom, how hard she's been working, and the worst part is, she still loves his dad, while his dad doesn't seem to care about her at all anymore. Then his dad starts to leave. Something's come up, I need to head out. But Maki's questions weren't finished yet. Before he can ask anything else, someone shouts from behind, and it's none other than Nina, who's yelling furiously at someone on a call. She spots Maki and says, leader, what are you doing here? He can tell she's stressed about something, so he goes over. Why are you yelling like that? Is something wrong? She explains, yeah, I don't have enough money to pay the bill. He asks, then why did you order so much food if you didn't have the money? She says, remember I told you about my boyfriend? I came here to meet him today. He told me he'd be a little late, so he said to just go ahead and order whatever I wanted, and he'd pay the bill. Maki asks, so what happened to him? Did he not show up? She says, that jackass was just using me as a backup. Turns out he actually liked some other girl, and if she said no to him, he was gonna date me instead. But that girl said yes, so now he's dating her instead of me, and since he's not dating me, he refused to pay my bill too. Hearing that, Maki can't help but laugh. His dad chimes in, if it's about money, I can help you out, since you're my son's friend. Nina asks, wait, who's this guy? And the moment Maki explains he's his dad, she greets him properly. I'm so sorry, I had no idea you were his father. Maki says, you don't need to pay for this. we're not really the same kind of family anymore anyway, so I'll pay for my friend's bill myself, not you. And he picks up the check and starts to leave. But before he goes, he asks his dad the same question one last time. Do you love Minato or not? I want a straight answer. But again, his dad avoids giving him one. You'll understand for yourself one day. Maki says, I'll take that as a yes then, and walks off. On the way home, Nina thanks him. If Maki hadn't been there today, she would have been in serious trouble. Then she says, it's pretty cold today, isn't it? How about we grab a cup of coffee? Maki says, you really think I'm made of money? I'm not your personal ATM. I already paid your bill, and now you want me to buy you coffee too. She says, don't worry, I'll pay you back for everything. Maki gives in, and the two of them sit down to have coffee together, chatting as they drink. Nina says, you didn't have any friends before Umi, did you? He says, when I lived with my dad, he kept getting transferred to different cities, so I never really got the chance to make friends. But yeah, I'm slowly making some now. Maki's still thinking about his parents, so he asks Nina a question. This is a bit personal, but I want to know, do your mom and dad still live together? Nina says, it's a little complicated. If you ever ran into them during the day, you'd probably catch them fighting, throwing things at each other, yelling, but they've never actually separated. They always end up apologizing to each other, and by the next day they've forgotten all about it, back to being a happy married couple. No matter how much they fight, they never actually leave each other. But yeah, they do fight, and that's exactly why I can recognize people who feel the same way I do, like you. You're carrying a lot of tension because of your parents. There's anger built up inside you, the kind of anger that slowly keeps growing inside all of us, until one day that bomb gets so big there's no option left except to explode. But your dad's case is different. He bottled up so much anger inside himself and never once expressed it, so that anger just stayed buried inside him forever. That's exactly why he seems so dull and gloomy now, and he might never be able to change. But I'm worried about you because if this keeps up, you're gonna end up just like your dad. So stop bottling up your anger. Listen to me. Talk to Umi about all this, because I know you can be open with her. Don't hide your emotions, let them out, or you'll end up in the same state as your father. Maki says, oh, right, I need to text Umi. And after texting her, he heads home, where his mom's waiting for him. He's a little surprised she's home this early, since she usually comes home really late, sometimes even after he's already asleep. His mom says, I thought I should spend some time with you. Otherwise, you'd end up doing all the housework yourself. So I took a month off from work. He's stunned. A month off? Are you feeling okay? She says, yeah, I just want to spend some time with you. And honestly, I've been putting way too much stress on myself, so I need to fix my lifestyle a bit. I need to quit smoking too. He goes and tells Umi all of this. Umi says, that's really great news, since she'd started getting those dark circles and smoking way too much. It'll be good for her to rest a little. But there is one downside. If she's home now, we won't be able to spend Fridays together anymore. We'll probably have to change up our Friday routine. Maki says, yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. So what do you want to do this Friday? Do you want to come to my place, or should we go out somewhere like last time? Umi pauses for a moment, then says, actually, that's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. Could you come to my place this Friday for dinner? Maki asks, why so suddenly? What happened? She says, my mom wants you to meet my dad. He flatly refuses. I'm not coming over. But Umi tries to convince him, you have to come. Now that my mom's told him about you, my dad wants to meet you, and he won't rest easy until he does. So please don't say no. So now Maki had to go to Umi's place for dinner, since her parents had invited him over to eat. The problem was, he'd already met her mom, but he'd never met her dad before, so he's a little nervous about it. The moment they get to school, they tell you and Seiki all about it, and you's not happy at all. That's so unfair. Why did they only invite you to dinner? I have to go to Umi's place for dinner. This is completely unfair. Why do you get to have all the fun? But then something suddenly seems to come back to you, and she puts her hands together and says, may the powers above give you strength. And Maki gets a little scared hearing that. What suddenly happened to her? 5 seconds ago she was thrilled, and now she's completely flipped. Is Umi's dad really that terrifying? Terrifying enough to scare even you? He can hardly believe you could be scared of anyone. She gets along with everyone, friend or foe alike, even Seiki, whom she'd rejected just 2 days ago, and she still talks to him just fine. So what exactly is it about Umi's house that scares you so much? Umi cuts in and says, don't pay attention to her. She's not scared of my dad, she's scared of my older brother, and she starts poking fun at you. I know you're still scared of him, but you acts like she's never even heard of him. Riku? Who's that? I've never even heard that name before. I don't know anyone by that name. Umi says, stop pretending. There's no way you've forgotten him that fast. I know you're scared of him. Seiki says, that's great, though. You're going to dinner with Umi tonight, and you'll be with her at the Christmas party too. You're really lucky. But then he admits, I'm not that lucky actually. Since I didn't sign up when registration was open, I can't attend the Christmas party. I don't even have a pass. Seiki says, that's really unfortunate. If that happens, you won't get to see the movie. And then he thinks for a moment and says, let me talk to my sister. Maybe she can help us out. And they head to the student council room. At first, his sister says it's against the rules. Any student who didn't register can't attend the party. And Maki's stunned to hear this. Wait, does that mean Seiki's sister is the school president? Why did Seiki never mention this before? His eyes go wide with shock. Seiki begs his sister, please, you have to do something. He's my best friend. His sister says, I can't go against the rules like that. Sure, some students canceled their plans and there are free passes lying around, but I can't give you one, because like I said, a student who didn't register can't attend. But you could volunteer, meaning you'd help the council members during the party. You'd have to work while you're there, but you'll get food and drinks. You just won't get to enjoy the party the same way the other students do. Maki doesn't mind that at all. All he really wanted was to be at the party with Umi. His sister looks at him and smiles. Thanks for being my brother's friend, she says, and Maki apologizes to her too. I'm sorry for causing you trouble at the last minute like this, but I promise I'll give it my absolute best, so the two of them could finally spend Christmas together after all. After school, he heads home, since he needs to get ready to go over to Umi's place, and his mom's already on the phone with Umi's mom, talking about the invitation. Maki says, you didn't need to talk to her this much, I can take care of myself. But his mom says, it wasn't just about that, I needed to talk to her mom anyway. At least I have someone to talk to. Then he notices the cigarette packs, one in the trash, one on the table, meaning his mom's still smoking a lot, maybe even more than before. He figures his dad must have said something to her, so he asks her directly, did you talk to dad? His mom looks stunned for a moment, as if Maki had caught her in a lie. Yes, we talked, she says, but just about your meetings, when you'll see him, when your exams start, nothing else. But Maki says, a little louder, you're a terrible liar. Tell me the truth now. His mom has no way out at this point, so she says, I don't know how, but your dad found out I've been overworking myself at the office. So much that I got dark circles under my eyes and started smoking again. So he really scolded me, lectured me for hours. Yes, she admits it was her own fault, and if you're thinking his dad scolded her because he actually cares about her, you'd be completely wrong. Maki had already figured out exactly why his dad had been yelling at her. If you remember, when Maki and his dad had gone out to eat, they talked about a few things. Maki had mentioned that he often had to cook his own meals, wash his own clothes, and handle all the other household chores himself. His dad wasn't happy at all hearing that. He'd yelled at Maki's mom, why on earth are you making my son do all the housework? What's even the point of being his mother if you can't take care of him? And on with taunts like that, convincing her she wasn't a good mother. Maki felt a little offended hearing this. He'd already suspected his dad had said something along those lines. He tells her, why are you taking dad's words so seriously? He's not part of our family anymore. He has no right over you. Whether you work or not, what business is it of his? And besides, if you don't work, where's our money going to come from? How will we even run this house? But then his mom says, the truth is, your dad already sends us enough money every month to run this house comfortably. Hearing that, Maki finds it a little strange. Does his dad really send that much money? If that's true, then why is his mom working so much overtime? His mom continues, it's a matter of pride for me, honestly. Your dad divorced me, so I didn't want to live off his money. I wanted to work for myself, to cover both your expenses and mine on my own. So I never touched his money at all. But now, looking back, I think maybe all of this has turned me into a pretty bad mother, because I can't even spend time with you, and because of me you have to cook your own meals. Maybe I should have set my pride aside. I just wanted to prove I could survive without your dad. And maybe working overtime meant my attention's been scattered across too many things. She continues, the three of us can't be a family again, but I'll try to spend more time with you from now on. Afterward, he heads off to Umi's house, where her mom welcomes him warmly. He brings a small gift for them, and Umi's mom heads off inside. Before stepping in himself, he notices her dad's shoes already sitting there, and his heart starts racing, pounding so hard it feels like it might burst. Umi says, looks like you're pretty nervous. You should take some deep breaths, or you're going to give yourself a heart attack at this rate. He takes a few deep breaths and says, you're right, if I keep thinking like this, I'm done for before I even start. How scary can your dad really be? I shouldn't overthink this so much. But the moment he steps inside, he sees her dad, a man who's unusually tall, like he might have been some kind of fighter in a past life, with an incredibly deep voice. He introduces himself, "I'm Umi's father. It's good to meet you." And Maki's completely falling apart inside, thinking that if he says even one wrong thing, this man's going to knock his face clean off. Her dad steps closer and says, "Thank you for being my daughter's friend. She talks about you a lot. She's told me how well you take care of her." All said in that same deep voice. Trembling, Maki says, "Umi's a good friend of mine too." Then he adds, "I'm sorry for calling her by her first name. I shouldn't have done that." But her dad says, "It's fine. You can call her by her first name. My daughter's in high school now. If her close male friend calls her by her first name, that doesn't bother me at all. Besides, the two of you are clearly very good friends." Then Umi's mom cuts in and says, "You don't need to be scared of him at all," pinching his cheeks. "He just looks scary. He's actually got a very pure heart." Then she tells Umi, "Why don't you show Maki how your dad smiles?" And Umi goes over and starts tickling him, and her dad just bursts out laughing like crazy. Maki's stunned watching this. Can this man actually laugh? And he's not just laughing, he's practically begging Maki for help. "Please, save me from these two. Only you can stop them." Finally, Maki tells them to stop, since he's actually started feeling sorry for her dad by now. At least now he knows one thing. Umi's dad isn't nearly as scary as he'd thought. Umi says, "I'm starving, why don't we eat?" Her mom says, "I'll get the food ready. Go call your older brother down." And her dad heads off to call his son. Maki asks Umi, "So what's your brother like? Is he as scary as your dad? Or worse?" She says, "He's unemployed, and he just sits in his room 24 hours a day. He only comes down to eat. And in case you didn't know, he's been chasing after you forever, which is exactly why she's scared to come here." Now it clicks for Maki why you was so scared. So they all sit down to eat, Umi on one side of Maki, and her mom on the other. Umi doesn't like this one bit. "Mom, this is my friend. Why are you sitting right next to him?" Her mom says, "What are you even saying? I can't let the Asanagi family's reputation go down the drain. I'm just making sure our guest is well taken care of. I don't want him thinking we're bad hosts." But Umi says, "I'll handle all of that, you can move." Her mom replies, "Move? If I move, how am I supposed to enjoy time with Maki? He barely ever comes over." Then she adds, "It's not fair that you get to be with him at school all day too. Let me spend a little time with him too." Poor Maki just sits there quietly in the middle while the two of them fight over him. Her dad says, "Don't argue while we're eating. We should have a peaceful meal. Think about how Maki must be feeling right now." Her mom says, Fine, I'll stop arguing, but I'm not getting up from here." "Well, go on then, I'll give you one advantage. If you want, you can feed Maki with your own hands." Hearing that, both of their faces turn bright red. Umi says, "Mom, stop talking like a crazy person. I'm not doing anything like that," and they go back to eating. Umi says, "Hurry up and finish eating, we're going to play a game after this. The one you've been waiting for this whole time." And Maki gets excited too. Umi looks over at her brother and says, "We're borrowing your room for a while." He says, "Where am I supposed to go? You know I never leave my room anyway." Umi teases him, "Why don't you get some kind of job? You're old enough now." And he gets offended. "Where's this job talk coming from? And even if I did have a job, I wouldn't be going to work this late at night anyway." Umi says, Yeah, fine, but you should at least try. You're not even making an effort to look for a job." And even her dad backs her up on this. She's right. Starting Monday, you should start job hunting too. You can't just sit around like this for the rest of your life. Her brother finally gives in. Fine. You can use my room and my gaming console. Just don't break anything." Umi apologizes to Maki for their little family squabble, but she's stunned when she looks at his face. And not just Umi, even her mom, her dad, and even her brother, who hadn't reacted to anything this whole time, are all staring at him too. Maki finds it a little strange. Why is everyone staring at him like this? Umi tells him, "Because you're crying." And Maki hadn't even realized tears had started falling from his eyes. Then the story cuts to a flashback, back when Maki was little, when his mom didn't work at all. She just stayed home, cooking and doing housework. Every day at mealtime, Maki would hug her and ask what she'd made for dinner. And when his dad came home, he'd talk his ear off too. His mom used to even complain to his dad, he didn't eat his vegetables again today. Maki loved both his parents deeply, and they'd all have dinner together every night, filled with so much joy. But slowly, as he grew older, his dad started coming home later and later from the office. He stopped making it home in time for dinner at all, and Maki started having lunch alone with his mom instead. Sure, his mom was always there with him, but even she'd grown so depressed by then that it felt like there was some invisible wall between the two of them. And finally, after the divorce, his mom started working too, and she started coming home late as well, which is why he ended up eating every single dinner completely alone. And after all this time, finally seeing Umi's family laughing and joking together like that brought back every memory of how his own family used to be just like theirs. All of this was going through Maki's head, and everyone else keeps asking him, "What happened? Are you okay?" But Maki doesn't know what to say. There was nothing he could say. So he apologizes to them and runs off, crying the whole way, telling himself, "I'm being so stupid. Why am I crying like a little kid? I'm grown up now. I need to learn to control my emotions." Just then, Umi comes running after him. "You're an idiot," she says. "Did you really think I'd just let you go?" But Maki keeps trying to run. "I need to be alone," he says, but she finally catches up and hugs him. "Don't even think I'm going to let you walk off alone right now." And she holds him close, and somehow, it eases something in his heart. He apologizes to her. "I'm sorry, I ruined everything. I cried like that in front of your whole family. I don't know why I'm acting like such a child." Umi says, "Stop trying to act so grown up. We're still in school, so you're still a kid, and crying is actually a good thing. It proves you actually have emotions." She finally brings him back to her house, and he tells her all about his parents and how it all brought back those old memories. She tells him, "If you're feeling this bad, you can rest your head on my lap and sleep." When he refuses, she just makes him do it anyway. She strokes his hair until he finally falls asleep, and he wakes up the next morning to find Umi right in front of his eyes, and for some reason he's not even surprised. He just asks, "If you woke up before me, why didn't you leave?" She laughs and says, "You looked so adorable sleeping that I just couldn't stop watching you, and then I didn't feel like getting up from the bed anymore." He says, "You're really strange, you know that?" Then she asks him, "How did it feel, sleeping on my lap last night? You were out like a baby." Even though he's a little embarrassed to admit it, he can't lie. "It felt really nice, actually. Your lap was so comfortable. I don't even remember falling asleep. It felt like I was completely safe." And Maki thanks her. But Umi says, "You don't need to thank me. You did the exact same thing for me back when I was upset." As they keep talking, the two of them get closer and closer, and Umi closes her eyes. Is this finally about to be their first kiss? They're so close now, but just as they're about to kiss, her mom's voice calls out from behind them. "What exactly are you two trying to do this early in the morning?" And they jump apart instantly. Umi says, "Mom, you should knock before coming in. You're the one who taught me those manners." Her mom says, "I was knocking for ages, but you two weren't answering, so I had to come in myself. How was I supposed to know you were doing this?" Then she says, "Hurry up and come have breakfast. I need to talk to you both about something after." So after breakfast, they sit down, and her mom tells them, "I'm not against you two kissing, but you need to be more aware of your surroundings, where you are and who's around you." They both apologize, promising not to do it again. Her mom says, "I'm just telling you from experience, because when we did something like that, it caused us a lot of trouble." And the two of them look over at her dad, which means her mom and dad had done something similar back in their own past. Her dad tells her mom, "You didn't need to tell them about our personal business." Then he tells Maki, "Come meet me in the garden." Now Maki's terrified all over again. Is he going to bury me in the garden for trying to kiss his daughter? But when he goes out there, her dad starts asking him about his personal life. "My daughter and my wife told me about your family situation, and now I finally understand why you were crying last night." Maki says, "I'm sorry, I ruined the whole mood last night. I don't know why I started crying like a little kid." Her dad tells him, "There's nothing wrong with crying. It just means you're showing your emotions." But Maki says, "What's even the point of showing emotions, though? It doesn't matter how much I cry, how much I scream, or how much I beg. My mom and dad are never getting back together. So what's the point of any of this?" Umi's dad explains, "The point is, it lets you release your anger and your emotions. Because if you keep bottling up your emotions, it'll come back to hurt you eventually," which was exactly what Nina had told him too. He tells Maki there's no shame at all in crying or showing emotion. "I understand your situation. Anyone in your position, even me if I were in your shoes, would cry the exact same way." Hearing that makes him feel a little better, and he heads home where he finds that same photo album still lying out, meaning his mom had been looking through the old photos again too. Looking through the old pictures again, he starts crying, and this time he doesn't hold back at all, letting every single emotion out completely. Then he thinks to himself, if I'm gonna have these outbursts, if I'm gonna cry anyway, why not actually do something about it? He realizes that by Christmas, it'll have been almost exactly a year since his parents' divorce, so he decides he needs to do something on that exact day. He sends someone a message, "Can I ask for your help?" Though we're not shown who he messaged. Now Christmas Eve was right around the corner. Since all the preparations had to be finished tonight, the party itself was happening tonight too, so the entire student council had to work hard. The council president's giving everyone their orders, telling them to take their jobs seriously, that nobody should cause any problems, and that today's event needs to go smoothly, and everyone agrees. But Maki has one question. He goes up to the president and says, "I know I said I'd work there the whole time, but could I get a little time off? I need to step out for something important tonight." The president says, "You can't leave. You know how much work there is. You can't just abandon us in the middle of everything like that." Maki says, "I know I made a promise, but something important came up. Don't worry, though. I'll just be gone for 15 minutes, and I'll be back before you know it." The class president says, 15 minutes isn't that much, but rules are rules. So to make up for that time, you'll lose your lunch break. And since 15 minutes is a bit much, Seiki's gonna lose his lunch break too, and he'll have to help me during that time. Seiki's not happy about that at all. He's the one who needs to leave. "Why are you punishing me?" The president says, "He's your friend, so you can do this much for him. And besides, isn't it nice that you get to spend more time with your big sister?" Since it was for Maki's sake, Seiki agrees to help his sister. Everyone else is happy now, except you, who has absolutely no idea what to wear to tonight's party. So she asks Umi, "What's your plan? What are you going to do today?" Umi says, "I haven't really thought of anything special. I'll go home, eat, rest a little, and then head straight to your place, and we'll figure out what to do from there." When the topic of outfits comes up, Umi says, "I haven't really thought much about a dress, but maybe I should." Yu teases her with a grin. Yeah, I know you hadn't thought about a dress because before you thought Maki wasn't coming, so you had no reason to dress up. But now that you know he's coming with us, I can bet you're gonna show up looking like an absolute princess. The second we found out Maki was joining us, I saw your face. You completely panicked. I'd bet you've been thinking about your outfit ever since, and you wasn't wrong at all. Umi grabs her by the mouth and says, "You've been running your mouth way too much lately. How about you put that energy into your studies instead? You know you barely passed last time. The teacher only let you through because she felt sorry for you." Yu says, "I'm sorry. I'll think before I speak next time." Watching all this, Maki couldn't stop laughing. Once Umi's put Yu in her place, she lets her go, and Yu heads home. After a bit, Umi and Maki leave too. But Maki has something to take care of on his own, so he heads off somewhere else and we see he's gonna meet someone. He mutters to himself, "I can't believe I'm actually doing this. I don't know what Mom would say if she found out." If you remember, we'd seen him texting someone earlier and asking to meet up, but we weren't shown who that message was for. Now it's revealed it was none other than Minato. He arrives at the park and sits down next to her. For a while, neither of them says anything. Maki's wondering what his dad would think of this. Then Mina says, "Your dad was really busy. He suddenly got pulled into a bunch of meetings, and there was no way for him to get out of it. I'm sorry he couldn't make it here." Then we're shown the full scene from that night. Turns out Maki had called his dad that night and told him, "My school's ending soon, and I'll need to enroll in college. My dream college happens to be really close to your apartment, so I want to move in with you once school's done." On that call, he'd also said, "I'll tell you the rest tomorrow." And that was his excuse to get Minato to come here too. But his dad never showed up. Minato continues, "When I first saw you, you seemed like such a quiet kid, the type who doesn't really talk to anyone. But look at you now. I never would have dreamed you'd actually try to take this step, and we'll find out later exactly what step she means." Maki says, "You thought right. I usually am pretty quiet. I don't really talk to people. Before all this, I didn't even have a single friend. But trust me, there's a real reason behind this decision of mine." Then he adds, "I also wanted to thank you. I didn't think you'd actually show up to meet me here." She says, "I had to come, because the person I love has been acting really strange for days now, and I'm really worried about him. I've tried so hard to help him, but I just can't figure out what's actually wrong, and I'd do anything to fix whatever's bothering him." Maki asks, "Do you really love my dad that much?" She admits, "I do love your father, and I respect him deeply too. Yes, we haven't known each other that long, but everything I am today, I owe to him. Your dad really is a wonderful person." Then she bows in front of him and pleads, "I know you told your dad that once college starts, you'll go live with him, but could you do that now instead? Please, go live with Itsuki," Itsuki being his dad's first name, "because you've still got 2 years of school left, and I don't want it to be too late by then." Maki asks, "Why would I do that?" "Why do you want me to live with my dad?" Minato says, "Because he needs you. I've done everything I could for him. But maybe the kind of happiness only a son can give him, I might never be able to give him that. Yes, I know your dad never shows his emotions, but he's broken inside, and only you can fix that." Maki asks, "How can you say all this with so much confidence?" Minato says, "Whenever I'm with your dad, he always brings up you at some point in the conversation. And every single time he talks about you, there's a smile on his face, a smile I've never seen on him any other time. He only smiles like that when he's talking about you. Maybe you don't realize it, but your dad loves you so much. So please go back to Itsuki." Maki asks, "Do you even realize what you're asking me to do?" Minato says, "Yes, I'm completely aware of what I'm saying. I didn't even have the day off from work today. I lied to everyone, including your dad, my boss, to be here. And I know for certain, the moment he finds out I came here, he's going to be furious. And your mom, her heart would probably break if she found out I came here to meet her son. But please grant me this one wish. After this, I'll do whatever you ask. If you want me to stay away from your dad, I will. I'll never even show my face to him again." Maki asks, "And what about my dad? Would you actually be able to stay away from him?" Mina says, "I'll quit my job, and I promise after today, I'll never see your dad again either. But please go back to him. He's broken inside." Maki's stunned hearing this. Sure, he knew Minato loved his dad, but he never expected her to be willing to sacrifice absolutely everything for him. He asks her, "Why are you doing this? Why are you willing to lose everything? And honestly, I'm not going to listen to you either way. I'm nobody's puppet." So for now, he flatly refuses to live with his dad, at least until he leaves for college. But before he leaves, he asks Minato one more thing. He asks if she's free tonight, and the scene cuts right there. We're shown the Christmas party scene next, where Maki's welcoming all the guests, working incredibly hard and with genuine passion. The council president comes over and compliments him, and while they're talking, she notices he keeps calling her president. She tells him, "Don't call me president. Yes, I know I'm your president, but only for this year, since I'll be graduating next year." Without even thinking, Maki uses her first name instead. "All right, I'll call you Tomo-senpai then." Tomo doesn't mind at all. In fact, she laughs. "You look so quiet on the outside, but you're actually really clever." "Yeah, I did tell you to use my name, but I didn't think you'd actually use my first name. Her last name, by the way, is Seiki." Maki explains, "Seiki Nozomu's a really good friend of mine, so I use his first name. So I figured, since I'm talking to his sister, I should use her first name too, because if I called you both Seiki, it'd get really confusing. But if you'd prefer, I can just use your last name instead." Smiling, she says, "I don't mind at all. You're my brother's good friend, so that makes you my friend too. But since you're using my first name now, from today on, I'm calling you Maki too, not Ahara." And with that, she heads off to handle some other tasks. Just then, Yu makes her entrance, looking absolutely stunning in a blue dress. She looks so beautiful that the entire party just stopped to stare at her. And in that dress, half the kids there genuinely started believing she was actually foreign. Since her hair was blonde, she was wearing a Western-style dress, and her eye color was completely different from everyone else's too. She genuinely looked like a princess. Forget the boys, even the girls were blushing looking at her. But Yu doesn't pay attention to any of it. She runs straight over to Maki. Maki asks her, "Didn't Umi come with you?" Yu says, "She did come with me, but she keeps checking herself in the mirror and fixing her makeup over and over. And why wouldn't she, since her boyfriend's here? And honestly, sometimes Yu really does have a knack for saying exactly the wrong thing. Just this morning, Umi had given her a huge lecture about keeping her mouth shut, but here she goes again. And just as she's talking about her, Umi walks up from behind and says, "You ran your mouth again. How many times have I told you not to say things like that?" Yu immediately lies, "I didn't say anything." If you don't believe me, ask Maki. And poor Maki, what's he supposed to say? Because the moment he'd seen Umi, he'd completely lost the ability to speak. He was staring at her like nobody else existed in that entire place, and he barely manages to open his mouth, just enough to say, "You look really beautiful in that dress." Umi's blushing, but she says, "That's all you've got? Just that I look nice?" You know girls love hearing compliments, right? But you can barely string together 2 or 3 words. Still, she adds, "I'll give you credit, though whatever you said, you clearly meant it. So I'll accept your compliment." And Yu goes right back to teasing her about it. Maki thinks to himself that Yu looks really beautiful too, and just as expected, everyone at the party is staring at her. But for some reason, whenever he looks at Umi, especially when she's wearing a dress this beautiful, It's like his heart just stops beating entirely. Just then, a voice calls out from behind them. It's Nina, and she's still wearing her regular school uniform, even today. You asks, "Nina, what are you doing here? Didn't you say you couldn't hang out with us tonight because you'd be with your boyfriend, enjoying the party with him instead?" Now, what actually happened with her boyfriend, only Nina, me, and you all know how her boyfriend was just using her the whole time, but she can't tell the other two about that right now. So Nina says, "There's been a bit of a change of plans. It's a long story, I can't get into it right now. But honestly, who wanted to spend time with that idiot anyway, when I've got two great friends like you both right here?" And neither of them press her for more details. You says, "Yeah, the three of us together is going to be way more fun." A little while later, Seiki shows up too. "It's time for you to go," he tells Maki. "I'll take care of everything from here," and he heads off, while everyone else keeps enjoying the party. Then we're shown his mom waiting for him outside. "Why did you suddenly call me out here?" she asks. "And weren't you supposed to be working the party right now? Who's covering for you?" Maki reassures her, "Don't worry about any of that. The party's going great, and I've got my friend covering for me. He'll handle things while I'm out here." But his mom says, "Fine, that's all well and good, but why did you call me out here? If you had something important to talk about, we could have done it at home tonight." He says, "What I need to say can't happen at home, so please just wait a little. They should be here soon." His mom asks, "Who do you mean by they?" Just then, a call comes in, and it's revealed that standing in front of them are Minato and Itsuki, and both his mom and dad are stunned to see each other, meaning neither of them had any idea they were both going to meet here tonight. This whole plan had been cooked up by Minato and Maki together. Maki apologizes first. "I shouldn't have lied, but I didn't have any other way to make this happen." His dad, looking at his mom, says, "It's been a while," and his mom replies the same way, "Yeah, it's been a while." Neither of them can meet the other's eyes. Maki gets a little angry. "What is wrong with you two? You were together for 15 years. I saw it with my own eyes. You two would have died for each other. But look at you now, you can't even look each other in the eye. At least say something, anything. Just stop avoiding each other like this." His mom says, "There's nothing left to say." Then their eyes land on Minato, and she realizes right away that this must be Itsuki's girlfriend, so she introduces herself. "My name's Minato Kyuka. It's nice to meet you." Maki's mom greets her respectfully in return. "Nice to meet you too. My name's Ahara Masakai." Then she gets straight to the point. "Maki's dad and I aren't together anymore, so if you two are dating, I have no problem with that at all." But Minato looks a little regretful. "No, I don't think I'm doing the right thing here. I feel bad about it too, honestly." And maybe she'd noticed that Itsuki doesn't give her nearly as much love as she gives him. His mom takes a dig at him. "So you still haven't lost that habit of making the person who loves you the most cry?" Itsuki says, "You wouldn't understand," and the two of them start arguing. "That's exactly my problem with you. You always say that. Why do you keep running from your problems instead of facing them? If you have an issue with me, just say it to my face. Stop running away every single time. You always just say I wouldn't understand, but have you ever actually tried explaining anything to me?" Then, looking at Maki, he says, "If you brought us here just to have us fight like this, I'm sorry, but I've got other things to do. I can't waste my time on this," and he starts to leave. But Minato grabs him. "Itsuki, you can't just walk away like this." He snaps at her too. "I'm your boss. Don't call me by my name here. And besides, we need to have an important conversation because now I understand exactly where you disappeared to during the day. You left work without telling anyone, so you're going to face consequences for that." But Mina says, "I'm not letting you leave. Not for anything. Just look at Maki, you can't turn your back on him. He's your son. I know you love him, so why do you keep running from him?" Then Maki steps in between them, grabbing both his mom's and his dad's hands. "Please stop fighting. Can't you two get back together? I want to relive that time when I was a little kid. Yeah, I didn't have friends even back then, but I was happy because I had both of you. You two loved each other and you loved me too. You never once let me feel like anything was missing. You both gave me as much love as you possibly could, and you still do. But even so, I don't want to have to choose between the two of you. Right now, during school, I'm with Mom, and during college, I'll be with you. Can't I just have both your love? Just tell me what I need to do for that. I'll study so hard. I'll top every sport too. And if you want, I'll make even more friends. I'm ready to do anything. But please, both of you, come back to me. I don't want to choose between either of you." And right then, Umi arrives from behind, and Maki starts wiping his tears. Before Umi gets there, Wiping his tears, Maki says, "That's all I wanted to say to you both. I'm sorry for lying to get you both here." And as Umi walks up to him, he takes her hand and says, "This is my girlfriend, and also the very first friend I've ever had in my whole life. Her name is Asanagi Umi, and because of her, I've learned how to smile again." Snow had started falling by now. But before they head home, Maki says, "I have one more request. I want to take a photo with the two of you, right here under this tree." His mom smiles and looks at Itsuki. "I don't mind at all. If he wants a photo, I'm ready." Itsuki says, "Maki never asks for anything. This is the first time he's ever insisted on something like this. Maybe we should just listen to him." And for the first time in years, the two of them are talking to each other with a smile on their faces. Maki asks, "Umi, can you take a photo of the three of us?" Umi says, "Sure, I can. But you know there's someone here who could probably take an even better photo than me." Maki's confused for a moment. Then Umi says, "All right, you can stop hiding now. Come on out." And we see Nina, Yu, and even Seiki had been listening to the whole conversation. This was definitely Yu's idea, since she loves eavesdropping on people. Umi tells Nina, "Can you take their photo? You're really good at this." And Nina does exactly that, capturing a family photo where everyone's smiling, and it wasn't a fake smile either. After all this, everyone heads home, and the rest of the students go back to the party hall, where everyone was still enjoying themselves, dancing, singing, playing games. There was tons of food too, and even in between his duties, Maki was getting some time to enjoy the party himself. Then Yu and Maki noticed two girls. They're wearing the uniform of Tachibana High School, the same school the two of them had come from, and as we know, that school holds some painful memories for Umi. And as if that wasn't enough, it turns out those same two girls who'd betrayed Umi were also here at the party, and Maki realizes Umi's actually trying to forgive them now. He asks her, "Are you really sure you want to forgive them?" Umi says, "I know I was really angry at them. When they betrayed me, I was consumed with anger. I didn't even want to look at their faces, probably because they used to be so close to me. And after that, I never made another friend, except you. But ever since I met you, my anger toward them has slowly faded, and looking back now, I feel like I overreacted quite a bit back then." Maki supports her decision. There's nothing to be ashamed of either way. If you don't want to talk to them, that's completely up to you. But if you want to forgive them, that's your call too. Like how I'm trying to bring my mom and dad back together, even though they're already separated. I still hold on to some hope. So in the same way, you can go back to your friend too. Our past isn't great, but everyone deserves a chance. And right then, the two girls come over, about to apologize to Umi, but Umi stops them. "None of this was your fault. I was wrong too. Yeah, I know you both lied to me that day, and you were talking about me behind my back. But as a friend, I should have confronted you, fought with you about it. I shouldn't have just run away like that. My own ego got in the way, and that's what ruined our friendship." Then the two girls start crying. "Ever since you left our school, we've wanted to apologize to you, but we never had the courage. We thought you'd never forgive us. Please, forgive us for what happened that day. We don't even know why we did that back then, but we still consider you our friend too." And Umi forgives them, telling them, "If you ever lie to me again, I won't run away this time. I'll beat you both into a pulp." Both girls laugh and say, "Yes, please, beat us so badly we can't even get up again. But please don't leave us again this time. We don't want to lose a good friend." Then Yu hugs them too, saying, "Finally, our whole friend group is back together." And seeing this makes Maki happy too. Sure, his own parents hadn't gotten back together, but at least on this night, someone had come back. And with that, the party comes to an end, and everything had gone well. Once it's all over, Maki and Umi go for a walk together, just like they'd promised. They walk hand in hand, and Umi keeps looking through all the pictures she'd taken on her phone. Maki thinks to himself that he never used to like getting his photo taken because photos carry memories with them, and his memories were never good ones. But ever since he met Umi, he's found a reason to smile. For some reason, whenever he's with her, he doesn't care about anything else at all, and he finally admits it out loud. "I love you too." In case you'd forgotten, Maki still hadn't confessed his feelings to her until now. Sure, the two of them had been dating, but Maki hadn't actually confessed his feelings yet, since he still felt like he wasn't good enough for Umi. Hearing this, she starts blushing, and she asks him to confirm, "How do you love me? Like a friend?" He says, "No, you're far more than just a friend to me." He continues, "I don't know what the future holds. Maybe someday we'll fight a lot, maybe we'll get to a point where we don't even want to look at each other's faces, and God only knows what'll happen between us. I can't guarantee any of that, but I can guarantee one thing, even then, I'll love you just as much as I do now. I don't have any special qualities, and I'm not particularly handsome either. But I promise you, I will never let tears fall from your eyes." Hearing that, she starts crying. Tears are already falling from her eyes. He asks, "Why are you suddenly crying?" She explains, "You idiot. These are happy tears. Do you have any idea how long I've waited to hear that?" And she hugs him, and then he starts crying too, and seeing each other cry, they both start laughing. We really are both such crybabies. We really are meant for each other. And finally, the two of them kiss. Umi and Maki were now officially, fully dating. After the Christmas party ends, the two of them head to Maki's place, since his mom and Umi's mom had gone off together for drinks to celebrate the happy occasion, leaving the two of them alone at home to have their own little celebration. Umi's stomach was so full that if she ate even a little more, she'd throw up, but she still can't resist teasing Maki. "You should eat a little less. Look how much your stomach's sticking out." Maki says, "You really shouldn't be the one telling me that. I've seen you eat. You eat way more than me, so you're the one who needs to slim down." And he's about to poke her belly, but he notices her stomach isn't sticking out at all. Where does all that food she eats even go? Then Maki says, "I was going to pinch you too, but there's no fat on your body at all." Umi explains, "Yeah, I do eat a lot, but I also exercise in my room. I work out 4 times harder than however much I eat, which is why my weight never goes up. Although lately, I have gotten a little careless, so some people have told me I've put on a little weight. Want to see?" And she shows him her bicep. "Look how much weight I've gained here. There's a lot of fat here. Want to touch it and see?" Maki blushes a little, since touching a girl like that doesn't feel quite right, but he asks, "Are you saying that because I'm your boyfriend now? So I'm allowed to touch you?" Even Umi hadn't thought of it that way, so she blushes too and says, "Don't overthink it, just go ahead and touch it." And the moment he touches her bicep, he doesn't feel anything unusual at all. He says, "Where did you even gain weight? You still feel really thin to me." Umi gets a little offended at that and shoves him. "You boys don't understand anything. You should read up a little on girls." Maki has no idea what he did wrong. Umi explains, "Boys and girls see weight completely differently. If a boy gains weight, he doesn't care at all. But if a girl gains even a tiny bit of weight, she becomes incredibly insecure about it. So yeah, maybe it seems to you like I'm really thin, but as far as I'm concerned, I've got a little extra fat that needs to go." Maki has absolutely no idea what she just said or why she walked off like that. Do girls really think about their body weight this much? After that, they go back to playing video games, and it's already 11:30, time for Umi to head home. But she didn't want to go home, because today was the first time they'd become an official couple, and she didn't want to be away from Maki. Still, she'd promised her mom she'd come home to sleep tonight, so she starts acting like a little kid, saying, Carry me all the way outside in your arms." And Maki actually does it. It would have been a sweet moment, except his back gives out on him. So Umi decides she'll just walk home instead. Maki offers, "Let me walk you home. It's not safe to go alone this late at night." But Umi says, "No, let me spend tonight alone. You confessed to me today, so I want to process all this happiness on my own, and I can only do that by walking through this quiet night by myself. I want to relive this moment again and again. So let's meet again tomorrow." And she says goodbye and heads off. It was really cold outside, so Maki decides he'll quickly shower and go to bed, planning to see Umi again the next day. But poor guy had no idea that he'd wake up with a fever the very next morning. His temperature was almost 40 degrees Celsius, and he couldn't even stand up properly. He thinks to himself that he'd been bottling up so much for so long, and last night he'd finally let it all out, so maybe that's exactly why he'd fallen sick today. And to make matters worse, his mom had to go back to work today too. I feel bad for his mom, honestly, because the poor woman had taken time off work specifically to spend more time with her son, but she never really got the chance, and now that he's sick, she has to go into the office anyway. Maki's wondering how he's going to manage everything on his own, since there's no way he can go to school in this condition. So he messages Umi that he won't be coming to school today because he's feeling really unwell. He just mentioned it casually, but she comes rushing straight to his house, and she doesn't come alone either. Umi's mom comes with her too. He's stunned seeing both of them. "What are you two doing here?" His mom lets out a sigh of relief. "I was so scared. I thought your condition would be really bad, so I came along with Umi too." Umi says, "You need to get to a doctor right away. My mom brought her car, so we can get to the hospital quickly." And Umi looked incredibly worried. Maki's brain wasn't working properly at all. He couldn't process any of this. He asks, "Everything else is fine, but tell me, how did you even get into my house?" Umi's mom explains, "Actually, last night while we were drinking, your mom gave me a spare key to your house. She told me, Umi's here all the time anyway, so you might as well give her a key too. At first I was against it, since giving something this personal to a friend didn't seem right, but now that Umi's told me you two are dating, I don't have a problem with it anymore. Poor Maki had no idea his mom had been doing all this behind his back, though it worked out well in this case. They rushed to the hospital, and the atmosphere there was incredibly tense. Umi wasn't even opening her eyes, as if she were praying to God that nothing had happened to Maki. But after a little while, he comes back out after seeing the doctor, and Umi immediately asks him, "What did the doctor say? It's nothing serious, right? You're going to be okay, right?" And Maki tells her, "The doctor just said I have a mild cold, nothing to worry about. It'll clear up in a few days." Umi lets out a sigh of relief. Then Umi's mom says, "In that case, come stay at our place, since your mom's busy at the office, and she won't be able to take proper care of you." Maki agrees, and on their way there, Umi's mom asks Umi, "Are you feeling better now?" Umi's confused. "Why are you asking me that? I don't have a cold. You should be asking Maki that." Umi's mom teases her, "Honestly, you were in a worse state than Maki this morning. Don't you remember what you did to me? You came running into my room at the crack of dawn, shaking me awake like a lunatic, screaming that Maki was in huge trouble. You were screaming so loudly, for a second I thought there'd been an earthquake. Seeing you like that scared me too. And that's not even all. At the hospital, you kept your eyes shut the entire time, until Maki finally came back out." Umi says, all innocent, "Don't blame me for that. I was really scared because last night everything was completely fine, and last night was the first night we officially started dating. So I was terrified when he said he wasn't coming to school. And that's when it hits Maki just how worried he'd made Umi, so he apologizes to her. Umi tells him, "Next time, don't even think about getting sick without asking me first. You know how scared I was." And hearing that stings Maki, because he'd promised her just last night that he'd never let tears fall from her eyes. But it hadn't even been 24 hours since they started dating, and he'd already worried her this much. Finally, they arrive at Umi's house, and she sets up a bed for him. Umi tells him, "My mom's already talked to your mom, so you'll be staying with us until you're better." Then she says, "There's nothing to be shy about now, since we're officially together anyway," and she hugs him. Maki starts thinking again. If this keeps happening, will Umi eventually leave him too? He thinks about his whole life, how he'd always been alone, and it never used to bother him this much. But now that Umi's finally in his life, if she ever left, he'd be completely shattered. And he thinks further, if he keeps worrying her like this, would she eventually leave him too? Umi realizes exactly what he's thinking, so she tells him, "I'm never going to leave you, because I can't live without you either." After that, they leave him alone in the room to rest, but Maki can't fall asleep, for two reasons. One, it's not even morning yet, and two, he feels like someone's watching him, and that turns out to be true because Umi's staring at him intently. Maki asks her, "Why are you staring at me?" Umi says, "I just came to check if you were sleeping well or not. Sorry, go ahead and rest." And she closes the door and leaves. After she's gone, Maki closes his eyes again, but once again he feels like someone's watching him, and when he looks toward the door, Umi's still staring at him. Then she finally says, "I'm not leaving this room. Do you know how worried I am? I can't focus on anything because all I can think about is you." But Maki tells her, "You should leave, or you're going to get sick too." He already knows she's not going to listen, since she's incredibly stubborn, so he doesn't bother arguing further, and while they're talking, he finally falls asleep, and his eyes open again directly at night. That night, Umi feeds him with her own hands like he's a little kid, while outside, her mom and dad are talking. Umi's mom was completely relaxed about it, but her dad was a little worried. He asks Umi's mom, "Are you really sure about this? How could you just let them sleep in the same room?" Her mom says, "There's nothing wrong with that. They're dating anyway. It's not a big deal if they sleep in the same room." Her dad says, "Yeah, I know, but she's still really young. What if they try something inappropriate?" Then Sora reassures him, "Don't worry, Maki just came here to rest, and he's really sick, so he'll fall asleep quickly." And hearing that, her dad breathes a sigh of relief. But then her mom adds, "But I can't guarantee anything about Umi. She could do anything." And hearing that, her dad gets worried all over again. Then we're shown the two of them sleeping right next to each other. Umi had come here because she was so worried about Maki, and finally they turn off the lights and go to sleep. Umi was so exhausted that she falls asleep the moment she lies down. Maki says to himself how adorable she looks sleeping, and he starts saying all sorts of sweet things about her, how much he loves her, how much she cares about him, and he says, "You're the first girl I've ever loved this much," and he's about to touch her face, but he stops himself, thinking it might wake her up. But then Umi's voice comes, "If you want, you can touch my face. And that's when he realizes she wasn't asleep at all, meaning she'd heard every single thing he just said. So she asks him to repeat it all over again, and the two of them finally fall asleep. By morning, Maki's temperature had come down from before, and Umi had already left for school. Sure, she was at school, but her mind was completely elsewhere, because she kept texting him every few minutes, and before leaving, she'd warned him, "Just because I'm leaving doesn't mean you get to play video games all day. Don't get out of bed until I'm back." So even though he's not really sleepy, he still lies down in bed anyway. Then Umi's mom comes in. "I need to clean the room. If you don't mind, can I come in?" And he says yes, since it's her house after all. Her mom starts cleaning and says, "This year's almost over already. When we were kids, time used to move so slowly. But the older we get, the faster time seems to fly by." And then she thanks Maki. He's confused. Why is she thanking him? She says, "For giving my daughter back her smile." Then she starts telling him stories about Umi's childhood, how stubborn she used to be, staying out late, and whenever her mom scolded her, she'd cry so loudly. "She really gave me a hard time. And you probably haven't noticed, but there's a big scar on her forehead. When she was little, she was running around just like that, and she hit her head on a table and there was so much blood. I was terrified that day. I genuinely thought I might faint. Umi really put me through a lot as a kid. She used to worry me sick." Maki's surprised. Looking at her now, "I'd never guessed she was such a troublemaker as a kid. She must have really given you a hard time." Her mom says, "Yeah, back then I used to wonder when she'd finally stop being so mischievous. But now, thinking back on those memories, I honestly wish she'd never grown up at all. I wish Umi had always stayed exactly like that, because as she slowly grew up, the smile disappeared from her face completely. Her friends betrayed her, and I thought I'd lost my happy, playful daughter forever. But then, out of nowhere, something started changing in her. She started laughing more than before, and she told me about you. And every single time she talked about you, there was a smile on her face, the exact same smile she used to have as a kid. She gets so happy talking about you, and whenever I tease her using your name, she gets annoyed too. But I know deep down, she actually loves it when I tease her. Whenever I see her like that, it feels like my little Umi has finally come back to me." Then she says, "I'm sorry you're sick," and here I am rambling on about all this. But Maki says, "It's fine, honestly. I love hearing stories about Umi's childhood." Then her mom turns a little serious. "I know I might be overstepping a little here, but please never leave my daughter's side. Ever since Umi stopped smiling, her father and I have both been so worried, and you're the one who brought her smile back. So please always stay by her side. Yes, she's a little stubborn, but she has an incredibly good heart." Maki says, "Don't worry, I'll never leave Umi's side, because I love her more than anyone else in this world." Her mom says, "More than me?" And Maki gets flustered. "No, that's not what I meant. Of course you love her more, since you're her mother." But her mom laughs. "I was just joking. I know you love my daughter just as much as I do. No need to panic. After school, you and Nina come over to visit Maki at home." Nina says, "I can't believe you brought him to your own house. I had no idea you were this modern." Umi says, "Stop talking such nonsense. I brought him here because he was sick." But Nina wasn't buying it at all. Yeah, you just needed an excuse to bring Maki over," and she heads straight to Maki's room. Umi apologizes to him. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have told them about this. I don't even know how they found out you were at my place." Then Nina and you start teasing her. "I could tell something was up the moment I saw you. Your face had completely lost its color." Nina adds, "Yeah, I knew something was off too, since she kept checking her phone every 5 minutes. Turns out she was just texting her boyfriend, checking up on him." And the two of them start gushing about how cute Umi is, how worried she gets about her boyfriend, and hearing all this, poor Maki starts blushing too. Then you says, "Forget all that, tell us about last night. Who confessed to who, and after confessing, did you two kiss?" Nina adds, "Yeah, we tried asking Umi too, but she wouldn't tell us anything. But I know our class leader will tell us the truth." And hearing that, Umi starts smacking Nina. "Leave him alone. We're not telling you anything about our private life." By now, Maki had spent an entire week at Umi's house, and he was recovering really quickly, and soon enough he was completely better. Umi's overjoyed, but deep down she's a little sad too, because now Maki would finally be heading back home, and that made her a little upset. So Umi wants Maki to kiss her, and Maki finally grants her that wish. So now Maki's back home, and the new year has arrived. Everyone decides where they should meet up, since it's New Year and they should all go to the shrine together. Yu says, "I'm going to wear a kimono. What about you, Umi?" Nina teases, "Look who's asking the small question here. Now that our Umi's dating someone, she's definitely going to show up in a kimono because she'll obviously want Maki to compliment her. And hearing that, Umi starts smacking both of them for talking such nonsense. So finally, that night, everyone meets up and Maki compliments you, saying her kimono looks really nice on her, and then compliments Nina too. But Nina tells him, "You really don't know how to compliment girls at all. Girls want boys to keep complimenting them non-stop, but you just say 2 or 3 words and stop." But then, smiling, she adds, "Though I get it. You've clearly saved up all your compliments for someone else, haven't you?" And right then, Umi arrives and Maki genuinely showers her with compliments. So they all head to the shrine to make their wishes. Maki couldn't stop staring at Umi the whole time. Later, they pick up their fortune slips, which tell them how their year is going to go. Yus, Nina's, and Umi's fortunes don't come out too great, but this time, Maki's luck was good. His fortune had nothing but good things written for his future. But there was one thing he needed to keep in mind: whatever he currently has, he'll need to work incredibly hard to hold on to it, or he'll end up losing all of it. Reading their own fortunes, Nina and Yus' moods sour a bit. Nina says, "I don't believe in this superstition anyway. It's 2026, do we really still believe in this stuff?" And she throws her slip away. Then Nina notices there's free amazake being handed out somewhere nearby, so she drags you off with her. Umi asks Maki what wish he made at the shrine, and it was a really simple wish. He says, "I wish that me, all my friends, and my family stay healthy all year." Yeah, I know it's a small wish, but that's what matters most to me. She laughs and says, "I wished for the exact same thing. I realized just how important health is when someone close to me got sick." She meant Maki, and then he takes her hand and starts walking ahead. He says, "After this, I won't give you any more reasons to worry. I'm going to prove that I'm worthy of being your boyfriend." Meanwhile, Nina and you are writing their own wishes on a slip of paper and tying it up there. The same two who'd just been talking about not believing in superstition a moment ago. After that, everyone enjoys the rest of the festival. Sometime after the New Year's festival ends, Umi and Maki are at Maki's place, playing video games. But when it's Maki's turn to play, Umi sits down right in his lap, which means he can't see anything on the screen anymore, and he tells her, "If you keep sitting right in front of me, how am I supposed to focus on the game?" Umi says, "You'll just have to look around me, because I'm not moving from here." And poor Maki gets nervous, worried that if his hand accidentally brushes against her somewhere, he doesn't know what she'll think. And this was exactly Umi's plan all along. As we've seen throughout this whole series, Umi's genuinely terrible at gaming. She loses to Maki every single time. Forget Maki, she even lost to you, who'd never played the game before in her life. So the only way Umi can actually beat Maki at a game is by sitting right in front of him so he can't play properly. And that's exactly why she'd won so many matches today. Umi says, "When I sit in your lap and play, my gameplay gets 1,000 times better." Poor Maki doesn't know how to explain to her that it's not her gameplay that's improved, it's his that's gotten worse, since he can't focus on the game at all. They keep playing until it hits 9 o'clock, and Maki finally stops her. "We've been playing for way too long now. You should head home." But Umi really doesn't want to leave. "This is so much fun, though. Can't we play for a couple more hours?" But Maki flatly refuses. "It's already really late, and you promised your mom you'd come home on time. If you keep breaking that promise, she's never going to let you come over here again." Umi pouts, but she knows Maki's right. So Maki finally walks her home, and on the way, they talk about how Valentine's Day is coming up soon. "When I was at my old school, I used to make chocolates for the girls there. But I've never given chocolate to a boy before, so this'll be the first time I'm making chocolate for a guy." Maki says, "I was completely alone before too, so no one's ever given me chocolate either. So if you give me chocolate this time, I'll have to give you something back on White Day too." And Umi promises him she'll put her whole heart into making the chocolate. Maki thinks to himself how much better his life has become ever since he started dating Umi. Before, whenever occasions like this came around, they used to make him even more depressed, but not this time. Finally, Valentine's Day arrives, and in class, Nina starts handing out chocolates to all the boys so nobody's left out, and eventually she gives one to Maki too. He's a little surprised. "Are you giving chocolate to the whole class?" Nina says, "We've all been together for a whole year now. Sure, we're not all close, but at the end of the day, we're still classmates, so everyone deserves some chocolate." After giving Maki his chocolate, she says, "All right, see you later, but don't forget to give me a gift on White Day. And hey, if you can't think of a gift, you can just give me money instead. Anime fans would already know exactly what White Day is about." Maki laughs and says, "For that, I'll definitely bake a ton of cookies." Yu laughs and says, "Did you know Nina and I are actually helping Umi make her chocolate too?" because this Valentine's Day is extra special, since you two are together now. Umi says, so what? Why are you staring at me like that? Even though Umi didn't want to show it, you can tell she's really nervous. So finally, when Maki gets home, Nina and Yu are waiting at his gate to give him some chocolates they'd made themselves. But he notices Umi's nowhere to be seen, since she'd also promised she'd give him chocolate. Yu explains she was actually going to come, but she backed out because she felt like her chocolates didn't turn out well, and she won't come until she manages to make them properly. Nina adds she went straight home after school. That's exactly why she was so quiet in class today too. So they all sit down together, and Maki's glued to his phone the whole time. He just wants to know if Umi's okay. Nina tells him, you should call her, because I know you're worried, and so is she. If you call her, it'll make her feel better. So Maki calls her, and Umi tells him the same thing, that her chocolates need a bit more time so she'll come over a little later. But Maki tells her, you don't need to come here, I'll come to you instead, and he heads over to her house, where he can hardly believe his eyes at how many chocolates she'd made, every single one of them a complete disaster. Umi says, at first I thought I'd get it right on the first try, but this chocolate cake just refuses to come together properly. No matter how hard I try, something always goes wrong. And looking at the cake, Maki says it's not Umi's fault at all. She's never even set foot in a kitchen before today. She doesn't know how to cook or anything like that. Forget Umi, even I couldn't make this cake, and I've been doing kitchen work for years now, and even I couldn't get this right on the first try. So how could Umi possibly manage it? She explains, I've actually been trying to make this cake since yesterday. Even Nina and you came over to help me, but they got so scared looking at the mess that they just left. But she says, the one that's baking right now might actually turn out okay, so you should try that one before you go. And he does try the cake, even though it doesn't look great at all. But Maki still says, this is genuinely good. Umi's happy to hear that, but the moment she takes a bite herself, she realizes Maki's lying. Sure, this cake was better than her earlier attempts, but the aftertaste was still pretty terrible. Then Umi's mom walks in and tells Maki he should stay for dinner, but he declines. Instead, he asks, can Umi and I use your kitchen? We've got something to take care of, and her mom doesn't object at all. You two lovebirds do whatever you need to do. I'm not going to stop you. He tells Umi, I want you to make the cake again for me, but this time without any pressure. Before, whenever you were making the cake, you kept worrying about what I'd think. You were scared it would turn out badly. But this time, I want you to make it with all your heart. And Umi agrees, though she adds, if it turns out badly again, don't complain, because you'll have to eat every bit of it yourself. And with that, she gets a fresh burst of motivation and starts making the cake again. Before, she'd been baking it under so much stress, but now there's a genuine smile on her face, and her mom's happy watching this too, seeing how well Maki handles Umi. Her mom feels genuinely glad that a guy like Maki is dating her daughter. So finally, after a lot of hard work, Umi manages to make the cake, and this time it actually turns out really good. Maki genuinely compliments her from the heart, and both of them are happy now. A month goes by, and finally White Day arrives. On White Day, Maki brings cookies for Nina and Yu that he'd made himself, and they're genuinely delicious. Nina says, you're really good at this kind of thing. I feel like you're already preparing for your future wife, so you can impress her with your cooking and housework skills. And by future wife, she obviously meant Umi. Umi adds, if you love doing housework this much, you can just keep doing it after we get married. I'll take care of the household expenses. She's holding a box in her hand that she hasn't opened yet. Maki asks, why haven't you opened my gift yet? And Yu immediately starts teasing her about it, which makes Umi so annoyed that she says, I'm getting really irritated. If Nina says one more word, I'm going to smash her face in. Nina protests, what did I even do? I've been sitting here quietly this whole time. It was Maki and you who were doing all the teasing. How did I get dragged into this? And Umi's about to hit her, but Nina stops her. If you're jealous that Maki gave us cookies too, why don't you just open your own gift and see? Who knows? Maybe he made something special just for you. Umi wonders, is there really something special in here? Because at first, she'd assumed he'd given everyone the same gift. But when she opens her gift, there aren't any cookies inside at all. Instead, there's candy. I was doing some research on Valentine's Day traditions, Maki explains, and I found out that every gift you give carries a hidden meaning, a secret message. Cookies mean, you're a really good friend of mine. Then Umi asks, so what does chocolate mean? He doesn't say it out loud in front of everyone. He whispers it in her ear instead. Candy means, I love you. And since he'd said this while they were still in class, the two of them start blushing right there. Nina and Yu immediately go, we didn't hear a thing, carry on. And with that, another month goes by, and now it's April 3rd, Umi's birthday. So Umi and Maki are heading somewhere together, and Maki's got Umi's gift with him, though he won't tell her what it is. The two of them head straight to Yu's house. Maki asks why they're here. Umi tells her, I celebrate my birthday here every single year. The moment she steps inside, Eri hugs her, Eri being Yu's mom. She wishes Umi a happy birthday and tells her, I made so much food for you today, going on about all the dishes. Umi says, thank you for all of this. You do so much for me every single year. But Eri says, you don't need to thank me at all, because you're practically my daughter too. Then her eyes land on Maki, and she recognizes him instantly. If I'm not wrong, you're Maki, right? He's stunned. Does her mom actually know who he is? Her mom explains, my daughter's been talking about you and Umi for ages now. She tells me everything about you too. And from the way she talks about you, I really wanted to meet you myself. So you're the boy who won Umi's heart. Yu says, Mom, I told you. Whatever I tell you is not meant to be repeated to anyone else. So finally, they all start celebrating the birthday. Umi's old school friends had come too, and the moment they start celebrating, Yu hugs Umi, and seeing that, their old friends do the same. Nina says, I don't get why everyone's suddenly hugging each other, but whatever it is, I want in on the hugging too. And she goes and joins in on the hugs as well. Yu's mom had made a ton of food and a cake, and now it was time for gifts. Everyone hands over their presents one by one. Nina gave her a chain, the two old friends gave her flowers, Eri gave her a watch, and Yu gave her a teddy bear. Finally, it was Maki's turn to give his gift. But the moment it's time for him to give it, everyone suddenly rushes behind the sofa to hide. He asks, why did you all hide when it's my turn? Nina says, we don't want to be a third wheel between two lovebirds, so just pretend we're not even here. Yu agrees, that's a great idea actually, because if we're standing right there, you two won't be able to talk properly. And honestly, they were all being a bit childish about it. Even Yu's mom was hiding along with them. I had no idea these two were this crazy in love, she says. So finally, Maki hands Umi his gift, which comes with a note, and inside the box is a hairpin, an absolutely gorgeous one, and Umi puts it on right away. Now he needed to compliment her, but everyone was still listening in, and he wonders whether he should say anything or not. But then he figures he's not doing anything wrong. He's allowed to compliment his own girlfriend after all, and so he compliments her wholeheartedly. You look really beautiful, he tells her. Hearing that, Umi starts blushing, and everyone else was happy too, except you. You seemed lost in thought, her expression a little downcast. Later that night, everyone heads home, and Yu asks her mom, do you think I'll ever find a guy like Maki? At first her mom doesn't quite understand what she's getting at. Then Yu explains, ever since Maki came into Umi's life, she's been so much happier. She laughs more than before, talks more than before. It's like Maki's become her whole reason for living. So I was wondering, when will a guy like that come into my life too? Someone who can make me this happy. Someone who can actually understand me. Her mom says, he'll definitely come along. Look at me and your dad. We love you so much. So whoever comes into your life will love you just as much, if not more. Yu smiles, but she's still wondering when that day will come. When someone like Maki will walk into her life and completely change everything for her. Meanwhile, on the other side, Umi and Maki are walking home. This time, Maki takes a longer route so they can talk and see the cherry blossoms along the way, and they sit down somewhere to chat. Maki says, I've never really liked spring. She says, is that because classes change every spring, and you have to introduce yourself all over again to a brand new class? And that used to be true. But this time, things are different. He's made some really good friends this time around, and he's finally in a relationship too with a girl like Umi. Maki continues, all our classes are about to change, and we don't even know who's going to end up where. Honestly, I wish our class never had to change at all, but I guess that's not really possible. Still, even if we don't end up in the same class, I won't feel alone anymore, because I've changed now, and thank you for changing me, for being my friend. And taking her hand, he adds, I'm going to keep trying to become even better, just for you. After all this talk, she says, you know, you've gotten a lot taller than before, and standing up on her toes, she kisses him on the forehead. I've wanted to do that for a while now, but before, we were the same height, so I couldn't manage it, so it's a good thing you grew taller. Maki laughs. What kind of logic is that? And finally, the two of them hold hands and walk off together. And with that, season 1 comes to an end.